go.
14.
Yes.
Exactly. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Senezal's Archivists. Last time, our party cleared Quartz Cove of their Sahuagin threats and are now making their way to the city of Fraltelnog, which, if you're watching in quick order of last video to this one, you'll notice that I've been getting the name messed up repeatedly, and that's because I have not been playing with my notes open because I have limited screen space. So now I have it right going forward. It's Fraltelnog. That's the name of the city. The Grauger is the name of the clan that currently rules the mountain range of the ridge. So hopefully that's cleared up and I stop confusing people if I have been. I have been confusing myself, so at least there's that.
Good job.
I'm so good at this, guys. I'm so good. I can't wait to have two screens again. It's gonna be bliss. Anyways, so yeah, you guys made your way back to the boat. Kimeth, your friend from the Salty Serpents, has joined you in the interim as your captain to ferry you wherever you need to go. And you are now making the half-day trip down the river to Fraltelnog. You decide not to stay and rest in Quartz Cove, but that's all right because you're basically would have been halfway regardless. You guys kind of grab a quick nap so you can take a short rest between now and whenever we land in Fraltelnog. And if you had any more chatting you wanted to do with each other or with Kimeth, now would be a good time to do it, as you're kind of just all sitting around enjoying a luxury cruise down the river. Oh, also worth mentioning, in case nobody's been paying attention, your deer do in fact fit on the boat.
Oof, good. I didn't want to leave Pete.
So I think I left off. I was giving Kimeth back the ring, his platinum ring.
It's not you, it's me.
And being confused as to how a paladin can learn the spell.
I want to ask him, Kimeth, you heard that voice in the cave, right?
Heard it.
So it told me something about sacrifices, but that was about it. It didn't give you like any. Is that normal around here? Like caves?
Not especially, no. I assumed it was some kind of Sahuagin magic going on. Whatever they were worshipping to in there, because I mean it's kind of what they do, right? They make allegiances with higher powers to get more power. It's how your typical shortcut mage likes to do things. Not like you and me, where we worship one of the actual powers and get our powers slowly and over time and through devotion in our actions.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel a little weird just leaving it there. But also, the cave was already kind of coming down, and I don't want to be, just hanging around.
Well, I'm not sure what we would have done. We have no idea what was even talking, right? For all we know, it could have just been residual magic.
I should have asked it its name, but I didn't want to talk to it because it was cool.
I think that's a reasonable reaction to it, to be honest, is running away and not engaging with it.
Yeah. Do you think the gods would tell us?
They could, if we could speak to them. If we could commune in some way. Could maybe read the bones. I think I have that spell.
Read the bones?
Yeah, the knuckle bones.
Oh.
You don't know how to. You don't know how to use augury.
No, I just this Buno deck.
Read the cards.
Do you show him the Buno deck when you say this Buno deck? Oh wait, he knows how to play Buno. He's been taught now. He kind of he.
Did we teach him Buno? I thought we taught Keothi.
You taught me Buno.
Oh, it's true. You could talk Keothi.
Yeah, we
Buno.
haven't.
Yeah,
We haven't. We're still spreading it slow.
Maybe
the
he
slow.
already
Right.
knows Budo.
That'd be
So
pretty
you
impressive.
talk to your god through the bones?
I mean, I wouldn't call it talking as much as interpreting what he's trying to tell me. I ask him a question and he kind of gives me sort of a 50-50 answer. A yes or no, a good or bad, or possibly both. It's harder to understand.
I wonder
Wait,
if I just...
is Shinova a girl or a guy? Nori's just sitting there.
Shinov is a girl.
I was gonna say, can we
You said
hear this
goddess.
conversation, or are you having this in private?
Oh,
Yeah, no, this is
sorry.
all like the
Remy's
boat's
not-
very small.
Remy's
The
not
boat is
being,
very
like,
small.
particularly secretive about it. He's just kind of sitting talking.
Okay.
With the deer on the boat kind of penned up in one spot, you guys are very kind of like relegated to one area.
I'm sitting right. I'm sitting right next to Kenneth.
For the boys, it's not too much of an issue because they could kind of just pee over the side, but it's
Oh, God.
everybody has to kind of look away.
Good thing
all
I'm
been on
really
that mission.
dehydrated.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's not comfy.
I just...
We've all
I
done
just
this.
wonder... Maybe I'll just pray really hard to the goddesses and see if maybe I get like a dream or like they've never really talked to me. And I don't know how to ask them things through bones.
Uh,
But I don't know. I feel really weird about it. About the whole cave thing.
Here, I'll do a quick augury about it.
Wait, can I throw the bones?
It's part of the spell that I need to actually do it.
Ugh.
Is it like
We can play a game of knuckle bones afterwards.
Can I
They-
hold
they work
your
the
hand?
same.
Can I hold your hand? Can I throw the bones with you?
Sure,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah, I cut my hands underneath his hands.
All right, so he pulls out. You see he pulls out like a leather-bound tome that kind of looks a little bit like Xylia's spell book. And starts flipping through the pages until he gets to one that it's written in Dwarvish. So Nori, you'd be able to read it.
I'm definitely looking over his fucking shoulder, all up in there.
You see that it seems to contain pages and pages of what appear to be ritual magic. Specifically, just like any type of spells that are rituals, from what you can tell. You could see at one point he passes by the water breathing spell, and he has identify, detect magic, a few others as he's going through it, and finally lands on augury. And from his little leather satchel on his side, he pulls out a handful of knuckle bones. But these knuckle bones are they're like this big. They're massive, definitely from a creature much larger than a human. And sort of cups them in both hands and begins reciting a prayer to Shinov, asking for her guidance on should we have dealt with the entity within the cave and put an end to whatever blasphemy it was committing. And then just sort of shakes the knuckle bones with you and then tosses them.
Yahtzee?
I have a question for you too, Daya, but I'm gonna DM you on Discord.
Okay. Yes, it does, unless you have the subtle spell metamagic.
Okay.
And as he tosses them and they're rolled out in front of him, he looks over them, taking another couple
Nori
minutes
like
to read
literally just does exactly what she's like, in the same exact position that he is, like looking over the bones, like just complete like carbon copy.
them. All right, are you gonna try and make it look like you understand, or you just look like you're just?
Always.
All right, roll me a deception check.
Kiriti's just looking over, trying to figure out what creatures' knuckles they are, because they're looking
You can
very
make me a
large.
nature check. You can do me a nature check if you want. Where the hell did I put? Oh, right, he's in the new folder. Nori rolled
Ooh.
a 15. Becky rolled an 18. 1 second, I need my insight. Oh.
I totally get this. If you take this bone and put it together with this bone, it looks like a puppy.
Arguably.
Puppies.
Keothi, for your part, you've never seen this creature before, so it's a bit harder to identify, but you can tell it's definitely not from anything that would be humanoid or even giant. It seems to be a like whatever this came from probably came from either claws or paws.
Okay.
They're just
Puppy.
shaped a bit weird.
Puppy bone.
Puppy.
Oh.
Puppy knuckles.
Big pupper knuckles. Would you like
I
some
don't know.
pupper knuckle bread?
I don't know about puppy, but if you look at the way these two bones are lining up, you see a dragon followed by a skull, which typically it typically indicates woe, meaning it would have gone poorly for us if we had tried to do something.
Yeah, puppy dragon.
Sure, yeah. I don't. We all interpret it different. Maybe it's a bit different in the South how you guys figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, here
Puppy dragons are always bad news.
Yeah,
Well, I guess
pretty
I
much.
hope it doesn't show up again.
Hopefully
we
not.
Stop the sac.
I mean,
It's
we put an
fine.
end to the sacrifices.
We put an end to it. I guess that's
And
the
I-
best that we can ask for.
It
I
shows up
sorta-
again, we just hope it's got a body to smack.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we did sort of contribute a little bit to the sacrifices ourselves. Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I did maybe throw one or two of those Sahuagin into the pit.
I'm pretty
But-
sure a couple of us did.
I don't know what
Uh,
you're talking about.
It was us or them. You know?
Yeah.
Apart from
I-
that
I
last
like,
one.
wonder, maybe Darnuar Chandi was just like, nope, I'm gonna snatch that soul. So maybe the guy didn't get it, you know?
Neither
And
Darnua
it was
or
like-
Chandi would take the soul. That's solely Shino's job.
Solely should know.
Ha, exactly.
That laugh.
But yeah, I think we weren't sacrificing those Sahuagin to whatever entity was demanding sacrifices. It's not like we were doing it in their name. We were just killing them. I don't know. Maybe
It's not like we were killing in the name of or anything.
You know, that line sounds familiar. I feel like I heard a bard singing it once.
Of course you do.
But yeah, I mean, Cargone tells me that it would have been a bad time had we gone in there and tried to do anything about the entity. So I'm pretty
Cargone?
sold. Yeah, that's typically who I go to for advice on stuff like that.
Oh,
Seeing as
so
he's
you're
the
like
god of knowledge.
You're like dual wielding, like me.
You're dual wielding
Yeah,
gods.
kind of. Yeah, I mean, they're
Yeah,
both
I
gods of law.
Yeah, I respect Cargone a lot. A lot of my folks back in my hometown, pretty big fans.
Well, I learned a lot about Cargone from the Tritons, so I'm
Oh, did you?
not surprised. Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. You've got like the water theme going. It's you move around in it pretty well for somebody who's not a Triton.
Well, it's mostly magic. A gift of some ancient sea creature. I can't remember what you guys call them, but it's a manta, I think. Anyways, your people a couple centuries ago gave me a cloak that works to help people like myself who don't naturally have the ability to breathe and swim underwater to move better beneath it. So that's why I do what I do.
Cool. Small world.
Yeah, no kidding.
My people gave me a glowy necklace.
Oh yeah, what does it do?
It glows.
It's helpful in some situations, I'm sure.
It seems like it glows when he gets like really threatened or anxious. We tried it out a while back in this town. We all tried to use it a little bit.
We all punched each other in a bar.
Yeah.
Like an early warning system for when he's about to go into a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, we can tell when his heart's beating like really
Is it glowing
fast.
right now since we're on the water?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
It's got like a faint glowish going to it.
I'll just pull it out and show him. Look, just like this.
Ooh. Yeah, no, we did not, Becky. That's okay.
Huh?
That's okay. There's not a lot to add. I'll do that as we're as we're going. Right. Sorry, we forgot to level up.
Oof.
Keothi.
Oh,
We were supposed to meet up and do that, and we never did.
fair.
We just don't get in combat until the break. It's fine. Keep talking. RP
do it.
yourself.
True.
We'll sing sailor songs.
A sailor went to CCC.
I mean, if you guys want to go into
See what
Sneak
he
Shack,
could
these
see,
kids.
I know that he could CCC.
Was my mother deep blue see.
Hey. We go again. Sailor
Poor
went to
See.
Quick,
Just
Google
Nori in
sea
the
shanties,
background, the
go.
only part that she's starting to sing is just see. Anybody else know any other songs?
I cast blindness, deafness, and everyone. Now nobody can CCC.
God damn it.
Except for little old me.
God damn.
But all that she could.
I'm just trying not to move so much so I don't tip the boat over, but you guys are making me want to dance.
It's
Was the
it's
people
not
who can
that small a
CCC.
boat.
I'm that big of a person.
Well, I mean, if
When's
we
that-
rock the boat a little bit, it'll help some people take a nap.
Don't rock the boat.
Rock the
God.
boat, baby. Whoa.
Well, now we're copyrighted. We might as well go balls deep on it.
A
It's
big
like-
monster called DMCA comes down.
Ah, roll for initiative.
No, Jesus.
When Talia goes to CCC, see what he can CCC. Well, that he could CCC
Was it
is a boat on fire
strike?
and Oracle telling him to give him sacrifices.
Yeah.
Woo.
There, I have very quickly leveled you up, Keothi. You have no explanation as to what most of these things do, but thankfully it's just extra attack and fast movement, so that's you get plus 10 speed and you can attack twice a turn.
You're welcome for the
That's-
sea shanties while we were
yeah.
waiting.
Yeah, it's good.
We should add little intermission signs. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go.
Oh,
you
to the
singing
lobby.
Blues Clues?
No, like it used to be like before movies would start at movie theaters, there was a little commercial that would play, and it's like dancing popcorn and snacks and stuff,
Oh
and
yeah, no,
it's
I got it
basically like go
mixed
get your
up.
snacks at the lobby.
I thought it was we're
I
all looking
remember
for
that.
Blues Clues.
We just got a letter. We just got a
Just got a letter.
Let's go
Letter
look
who it's
inside.
from.
So,
Oh.
Does anybody know anything about Braltanog or the Grauger clan?
I know a little bit. I've been there. I mean, I was born there, but it's been a while.
Oh, this is your hometown.
I wouldn't call it that.
What's
Like I
that?
said, born there,
Place of
but
birth.
haven't been there in maybe about a century and a half or so.
That's a long time. Would Xylia know anything about it?
Yeah, you could make me a history check if any of you want to see how much you know
Me
about
too.
the.
I'm from the north.
Ew.
King of the North.
I'm doing this for the banter because I've got -1.
Awesome, excellent. Well, you did better than Remy.
Remy's from the
I've never heard of
North.
it before.
Remy, you've had a lot of experience in the north, but you've never really talked to dwarves apart from like the occasional trading thing. You've certainly never been to any other cities, so to you, this is like a whole new thing. Like cities inside of caves. What?
Crazy.
Insane. Same thing with you, Keothi. You've spent almost your entire life up in the Shale Mountains where there are no dwarves. So to you, this is brand new. Being like you've lived on the mountains, the dwarves are living in the mountains, and you're like, you can do this?
Why would we be outside if it's warmer in here?
Yeah, exactly. There is a lack of sunlight though, which is a bit detrimental. As for Xylia, you've heard a lot about Fraltilnog. It's considered the largest dwarven city in Aberynth. There's some other cities throughout the continent. Like there's a bunch of them in the Ridge, and there are a couple in the Spine to the south. But none of them are nearly so large as Fraltilnog. And it has a lot to do with the mining industry that goes on within Fraltilnog itself. It's basically the only source of mithril, which is a very hard to work with metal, but it's much lighter than iron and almost as dense, making it very valuable, but rare and hard to work with. But that's mainly the reason why Fraltilnog is so wealthy. As well as a little bit about the clans that reside within it. You do know that the Grogger are sort of the ruling family or ruling clan of Fraltilnog. That most of the Ridge is divided into dwarven clans. Pretty much all their you could tell a clan by its last name. If the dwarf has a last name, they're typically part of one of the ruling clans.
Okay.
And both you and Nori would know from your roles that dwarves are a little bit xenophobic, maybe more than a little bit within their own major cities. They don't tend to. They allow people in, but they're not super happy to have them there.
Okay.
They just haven't met me yet.
Xylia, with your high roll though, you would also know that while dwarves are super exclusionist, you can kind of get around that with a little bit of flattery. Dwarves love to have their achievements flaunted.
Okay.
And lauded. So one of the best ways to be within a dwarven city and not be disrespected the entire time you're there is to just be a kiss ass.
Yeah.
What about if you can speak fluent Dwarven?
Yeah.
They don't care.
No, they don't care. Anybody can do that.
That's just not true. Stares at everybody else on this boat.
I mean,
There's only one other person.
I've never ever met a dwarf. Apparently, I don't know much about them, and I can speak fluent dwarvish.
It's just so close to giant.
I don't know what to tell you.
No, assumedly you've met a couple dwarfs on your way through the north, but you didn't really meet any in the Shale Mountains themselves. But yes, so if that's everything, you guys can continue your adventure to eventually land in Fraltilnog.
What time of day is it?
It doesn't matter. We're in the dark.
You're about by the time you land in Fraltilnog, it'll probably be late evening.
Okay. Yeah, that's
so
fine.
if that's what you're wondering how your body feels, it's supper time basically.
Okay. Sweet.
So I will move you.
Oh lord.
Ooh.
Oh, this is a cool map. Okay.
Oh, I like this.
I don't understand why. Can you guys can see the water at the very south, right? It's not cutting it off for you.
Cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I don't know why it keeps doing this.
I can see a tiny bit of water, but not much.
It seems like
there should just be a tiny bit of water.
Oh yeah, I can see
yeah,
that.
it looks like it just depends on how zoomed in you are. Sometimes it cuts it, but sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, like when I zoomed in, it cut it off.
So,
like
you eventually do. Sorry, what?
Oh no, I see
Is that 2 Quixotes?
2.
Yeah, I clicked it right the wrong person.
Okay, you're just moving us in. All right. I thought maybe I didn't have access to some of the map because I didn't see my token, but you're adding.
Nah, just you guys weren't in it yet. So you do eventually make port, and Kimeth negotiates with another dwarf at the dock to have his boat parked, or not parked, but docked there. Park your boat. To dock his
Valet,
boat.
toss the keys.
To dock his boat there for the next 48 hours. He kind of slips him about 5 silver. And starts leading you guys towards the gate. And this wall sort of separates the entire river from one end to the other. There's like an opening into a cave system from the river that leads more into like this city beyond. But this wall stretches from one side to the other, dividing the river from the rest of the city, presumably to keep out anything that might come out of the water, such as the Sahuagins. And you guys are kind of just let through the gates without much debate or preamble. The dwarf there doesn't even question as Kimeth kind of strides in with the rest of you. And before you is the city of Fraltelnog, and you can see it is very large. It's probably about as large as Talona. It's, from what you could tell initially, pretty much entirely dwarves. You have yet to see anybody who's not dwarven walking around in the streets. It does seem to have a lot of much larger and more intricate buildings than you're used to, such as you could see towards the center of the city, this large plateau kind of rising up from the ground with a huge, almost castle above it. Presumably the realm of the Grogger themselves.
So this is all within a giant cave, right?
This is a huge cave. Again, much like Quartz Cove, the ceiling kind of just goes up and up and up into blackness. Unlike Quartz Cove, however, it's not lit up by moss, but instead you can see little red lamps hung from pretty much any building. There's at least one hung up somewhere. And while dwarves can see in the dark rather well, this is probably just done so that they don't need to necessarily be in the dark the entire time.
Okay.
The light is kind of this like reddish dim glow though, so it doesn't ruin your dark vision for those of you who do have dark vision. It's not like you have to switch back and forth between dark vision and regular vision. It's a little bit harder to see for Keothi and Xalia. It's definitely a little bit of a strain on your eyes to be seeing down here. Lower perception, one might say. And you can see what appears to definitely be an adventurers guild kind of off to the northeast. Jesus, I can do the cardinal directions in my head.
Waste.
This is definitely not a recurring issue for me in static.
Cave relative.
Cave relative. You could also see a chapel basically as you're walking in. There's a large, not a chapel, but a cathedral, upon which you can see the symbol of Cargone and Andrash and Chandi. As well as towards the back of it, it's kind of on a slow incline up this entire city, like everything's sort of placed on like almost like a hill. Towards the top you can see what appears to be a massive mining operation, where there's just a bunch of basically buildings and refineries all around this one large hole in the ground, which you can't really see down from where you're currently standing since you're at the bottom of the hill, but you can see some like cranes sort of like inserting and removing things on ropes.
Okay.
And Kimeth kind of turns to the rest of you and says, well, welcome to oh my god, my brain. To Fraltelnog.
This place is enormous.
How do you say hello in Dwarvish?
How can you have a whole city underneath the mountain?
Mountains are real big. There's a lot of space to build, and I mean, don't tell any of the dwarves here I told you this, but this cave was here before we moved in.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Blimey,
gonna
can you
quickly
even
tell
see
Remy how
that
to say
far?
hi in Dwarvish.
Yeah. Okay, so you explain to Remy how to say hi in Dwarvish. I don't have a language of choice currently for how to for how to say things in another language. So
Okay, but when she says hello to me in Dwarvish, Remy will look at Kimmeth as if like he wants Kimmeth to confirm that means hello because he doesn't
Nori,
entirely.
did you actually?
Yeah, I actually told Remy. Yeah, I actually told Remy how to say hello. You needy. No, I'm just kidding.
Kenneth kind of gives Remy a side glasses, just like.
Thank you.
Imagine Kimmeth was just as much of a trickster and he just told you how to say, like, fuck off or something.
Kenneth is very lawful, so probably not.
True.
Well, the first dwarf I see that is not Kimmeth, I will say hello in Dwarvish.
Okay, so as a dwarf is kind of walking past you through the gates, I guess you you wave and say hello.
Hola.
All right,
Yes,
I guess
the
Dwarvish
language
is Spanish.
is Spanish.
Does that make Elvish French?
Can
I hope not.
Elvish just be...
Oh no, wait, Goblin is French. I forgot.
Oh,
Goliath is
sure.
German.
Can Elvish just
yeah,
be
so we have
backwards
to do.
English? So, like,
Doesn't sound very elegant.
Instead of
That
hello,
obviously
it'd be like,
means that abyssal
Hola.
is Russian, right?
Of course. Either that or Infernal is Russian. I'm not sure which.
It does be done, yeah. Nori just anytime that she speaks abyssal, it like turns into this like, oh my god.
But the dwarf gives you a wave back, and says hello back as he's passing.
And then starts speaking to you in fluent dwarf.
No, he's clearly got business he's attending to.
No habla dwarf. Grazie.
Jesus Christ. Switching to Italian.
I just know these dwarves that are passing.
They most of them actually don't even notice you nodding at them because they would have to be looking like this to see your head. So I think first things first, we should probably go get paid for dealing with those Sahuagin, and then probably find a place to stay, if not at the guild itself.
yeah, I agree.
Good to me.
Lead the way.
All right. So he leads you through the city up to the Adventurers Guild in the northeast.
Hola. 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 Hola.
You get mostly people saying hello back, but a lot of dwarves kind of give you this distrustful look. Like, why is this weird ass Triton saying hello to everybody? As well as kind of just a general like they don't want to have to deal with you look. It's not the friendliest of places by the looks of it.
I get that all the time. It's fine. Oh, this is how you build relations. Hola.
Remy the emissary.
Exactly. The guild itself, when you enter, the first major difference you'll notice between its sort of layout and the one back in Telona is that everything here is built definitely more to be dwarf friendly. So the chairs are a little bit lower, the tables are a little bit shorter.
I'm hunched over walking through the door.
Yes, very much so. You not even just hunched over as much as almost like bent over completely.
Can Keothi crawl?
You can. It would be unnecessary, but you can.
Well, wait for it. Enlarge.
The ceiling is, however, high enough to let you in, or to let you stand, no problem. While the door itself is kind of shorter, the dwarves definitely appreciate opulence and extravagance in their construction, and the building is made to be just oversized in all senses, just like this big spectacle almost of architecture. Meaning it does have high vaulted ceilings.
And I dip through, stand up, stretch out and be like, they need to sort these doors out. Like,
Yeah, well, they typically don't build the buildings with other races in mind. Pretty
why
much
did they let us
only
come here?
dwarves. Well, because they still
I
need
told them
adventurers to
all
pass through. Possibly as well. We're not going to stop people from coming into the city, but let's just say dwarves aren't exactly a fan of sharing.
Sounds like me. And I go and walk over, put 2 chairs together, and I sit on them because I can't fit my butt on one.
Alright, so you sit your ass down. Kimeth walks over to the quest handlers.
Do you know Graves?
You just stop and start asking people.
No, the quest handler, the person up at the guild.
I just picturing
okay.
Nori asking every single dwarf.
Remy goes, "Hola," and then Normie pipes up, "Do you know Graves?"
God.
No, I don't ask it because this is a city full of dwarves. I ask it because we're in the Adventurers Guild.
Okay. So before Kimeth could even open his mouth, you walk up with him to the quest handler and ask them, "Do you know Graves?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this redheaded dwarven woman sitting at the desk kind of looks up, kind of looks at you, Nori, and frowns and says, "No, should I know Graves?"
You know, everybody's been giving me the same response recently, and I'm really concerned at the lack of interconnectedness between like your bases, and I feel like it's kind of poor planning.
What do you mean?
You know, like Adventurers Guild here, Adventurers Guild in Kalkarath, Adventurers Guild in Talona. Like it's like you guys don't ever talk to each other, you know.
Typically,
and, like,
because we have everything go through a communication officer rather than through ourselves.
well, if you're ever in Talona or you're ever bored, I would suggest that you send a letter to Graves because he's a pretty awesome guy, and he's good to know if you're looking for some upward mobility here.
I'll keep that in mind.
Cool. My name is Nori. What's yours?
My name's Sasha.
Dave.
How can I help you, Nori?
Is this all in Dwarvish, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming if Nori starts in Dwarvish, then it would stay in Dwarvish.
Yeah, I'm trying to be. I'm going to most likely probably speak
She kind of, as you're talking to her, she gives Kimeth this like searching, like, please help me look. What's going on? And Kimeth just stands there looking just as confused as she is.
Cool. We want to turn in this quest that we did. We killed a bunch of the Sahuagin because we're really strong and stuff like that. So we got rid of them. So now you guys can start trading down that cave again because they're not there anymore.
That one.
We killed a 15-foot shark.
That's
Exploded
pretty impressive.
Exploded.
So for that one, I think it was 300
500
gold. What?
Yeah, 300. I'm just joshing you.
Goes and takes the thing, the listing, and kind of looks at it. Yeah, 300. Mm-hmm. Reaches down on the desk, grabs a coffer, and counts out a couple bags, and slides them over.
He split them for 5. He split for 5.
Yes.
5 bags.
She takes. It was initially 3 bags. Wait. Yeah, so it'd be 60 gold each. So she takes the 3 bags and splits them into 5. Smaller ones, and hands them out to you.
That's 60 gold each?
Yeah, 60 gold each.
While they're doing that, I would like to go to the quest board. Are they all in Dwarvish? Or are they all in Common?
They are translated to Common because they need to be.
Sweet. I'm just going to be looking
guild
over...
law that service must be rendered in Common if requested.
Yeah, I just want to look over and see if there's anything regarding guardians or
Ruins.
forbidden entrances, like the Senezal's archivist keywords. I'm searching.
I'd like to filter these quest results through these specific keywords, please.
Sort by relevance.
Here we go.
Guardians, no. You see, you said forbidden was one of them.
Things like, because he told us to ask
There's
about
ruins.
like forbidden caves or things that would allude to ruins being there. So I'm looking for those.
You see, pest control needed in restricted access tunnels. But apart from that, there's not really anything fitting your buzzwords.
It's Sasha, right? That's her name?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lean on the counter. So, Sasha, I was really curious. We just got here. We're new in town. Kibith is a pretty good guide. He knows different things, but we're also looking for some, like... We want to do adventure-y things, but, like, obviously, since we exploded a 15-foot shark, we're wanting to do, like, pretty difficult adventure-y things and not, like, the run-of-the-mill, like, super simple adventure-y things. So, like... What about, do you have any adventure things that's like, oh, like this place that nobody goes into, but like there's evil things coming out of it, or like maybe like, oh, like don't go in that cave. There's stuff protecting things, and we don't know why that's happening, or like maybe
Well,
I have too many bananas, and I need somebody to take some of them off my hands because there's just too many.
I don't know. I don't know what a banana is. But in terms of things coming out of it, we've had a pest problem in some of the restricted tunnels, which will and Kenneth kind of chimes in. She means the sewers. We just don't talk about them.
Oh, so you just guys call them the restricted tunnels?
Well, they weren't meant to be sewers, but they've kind of become them since they're the earliest tunnels we dug underneath the town.
Wait, if they weren't intended to be sewers, then how do things accidentally become sewers?
Erosion.
What were they meant? Oh, I can't understand. Never mind.
Keothi shouts from the double seat, and she's like, I ain't wading through anybody's wee to kill any pests.
I'm not wading through anybody's wee. I love that.
Well, apart from that, typically anything that's dangerous in terms of forbidden areas are either dealt with immediately by the Adventurers Guild on behalf of the mining companies, or are simply just walled off and forgotten about in the caves below. We don't have anything, as far as I know, we don't have any active requests to deal with anything down there. That being said, of course, there's plenty of stuff that has been walled away and never dealt with again.
What sort of things have you walled off?
Oh, there was a tomb at one point that we walled away that nobody wanted to deal with, which is fair. There's a decent amount of skeletons coming out of it, and just not much point in dealing with that, honestly.
Skeletons.
If you can wall it off, they won't come out.
Skeletons are no bother. Tell us more.
Well, they're a bother, but we kind of put them away. I think my voice is changing as I continue.
Do you guys have like a master waller offer?
We've got mages who specialize in dealing with stone.
Nobody that deals with most of it though. Like you guys don't have like a designated guy that's like, oh yeah, like look at this map on this table I have. We've totally walled off like X, Y, and Z already, and okay.
The mining companies tend to have their own stone mages that
their
deal
own
with
waller
that
offers.
Sure.
I just sort of raise one eyebrow and I look at Nori. I'm like, this sounds probably interesting.
I mean, there's quite a few things that they've walled off over the years. But obviously we'd prefer it not to open up such tunnels again.
Hey, Kenneth,
Yeah.
is there like a library here, like a place to look? And I'm saying this in common because I'm not
Yeah.
understanding the conversation. Like an archives or somewhere like a storyteller.
There's there's definitely bards within the sect of the temple for Andrash. I know the top layer of the cathedral is the library of Cargone, as is any sanctum of Cargone. Probably a decent amount of reading you could do up there.
Okay. That might be a place we stop later.
Sounds good. I can always go for a prayer to Cargone.
Same. I'm going to then. I guess I'm just gonna sit next to Keothi and just be awkward because I don't understand Dwarvish.
I'll tell her what they've said about the tunnels. Don't worry. So Remy, guess what's happened here, Blue Boy? Apparently, there's some tombs that have been walled off in the sewers.
A tomb?
They seem
Anything
pretty reluctant.
special about it?
Skeletons are coming out of it, but they're pretty reluctant to open it back up again. I don't know whether any of the other things that they've tombed off will come of anything.
So they've is it just this one tomb, or they have other?
They said that there's a few, places. And they've walled off a lot of stuff. But the one that caught my ears was when they said they'd walled off a tomb.
Well, grave robbing's not necessarily my thing, but I'm pretty good with dealing with undead.
That's what I was thinking.
Which ironically would make you a fantastic grave robber.
No, the thing is, if it's walled off and the people are safe, and this isn't what we're really looking for, then maybe we don't mess with the tomb.
How about we find what we're looking for?
Well, Kimmett said that there's a library and that there's some bards, and I can always go ask. I mean, when I was going to Tolona, there was an Andrash bard. He's the one who taught me how to play Buno.
That game.
Yeah.
The nonsense game.
I thought we made up Buno. I thought Nori and Remy made up Buno.
No, well, so he taught him how to play Buno.
I think
but Remy didn't really remember.
Was that there was a really drunk bard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's an Andrashian
that I met who taught me how to play the card game.
He was an Andrashian cleric specifically.
Yes, sorry, but he was very drunk and he taught.
Some might say that he was Antrashed.
Yes, actually.
I'm gonna go pee real quick. I'll be right back, but you can carry on. You can carry on. It'll be 2 minutes.
I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna go stop by there anyway, because it's the Temple of Kargan and Temple of Chandi, and I need to go stop and say some prayers. But I'll ask questions, but I also don't speak Dwarvish.
Want me to come with you?
Yeah, that'd be nice. That, or if you're not into the whole let's pray, Kimmett can come with me.
Can come as well. You shouldn't necessarily need to speak Dwarvish, though. Everybody here should speak Common too.
Hey, Sasha.
So you might have a difficult time reading certain things. Yes?
I'm making him do all these voices at once. If we wanted to talk to somebody in the Miners Guild to extend our services, would there be, it sounds like since you guys work kind of closely with them, would you?
Well, we typically post their jobs up directly, and then you deal with us, we deal with them. We don't typically want adventurers and mercenaries to speak directly to the miners' companies. They've got enough on their hands as it is. That's the working arrangement, you understand.
Okay.
Kimeth kind of like whispers to Nori, we can always arrange for a one-on-one if you want, just between us.
Damn, Kimith got connections.
No connections. Just I know where to go, and I can schmooze a little bit, possibly.
Schmoozy Kimith. I look forward to it. I look forward to the schmoozing. Sasha, can we get some rooms for tonight?
Yes, of course. That's a silver each for lodging and for
Food?
yes, dinner and breakfast.
Cool, I'll get it.
Excellent.
5 peeps, right?
So she hands you 5 keys, and if you want food, you could order it now. Like I said, it is late evening by this point, probably almost night.
I'll look back at the group and ask in common, were there things we wanted to get done tonight, or are we gonna do them tomorrow? I'm still a little beat.
Yeah.
Feeling a little. I know we took that nap
exhausted.
on the boat, but then we started singing those sea shanties, and that got me like pretty pumped. So I'm like coming down off that second wind now.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're not seeing what the sailors see.
I mean, bars like nightlife tends to be a good place for information if we wanted to hop around and see if we could get any more information, maybe on like this tomb or
Nothing like a good ale to loosen a dwarf's lips.
I could have a drink.
Ale might make us sleep better too, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm owed a drink by at least somebody here.
I'm pretty sure I owe our friend a few drinks too.
Are we gonna drink here? I'm sure there's like bars, right? You can
Oh yeah.
take us to your favorite.
This is a dwarven city, of course there's bars. Alright, yeah. I'm sorry.
I'll pass out the keys to everyone.
Thank
Don't
you.
lose these. Don't
Put it
lose these.
safe.
You won't be able to get into your room if you lose them. Don't drink too much and lose them.
Do we want to eat before we go? I don't know about drinking on an empty stomach.
That is a fantastic idea, actually.
We paid for dinner here. We may as well eat.
Yeah. What's for
Right.
lunch?
A lot of the same fare as what you guys had at Quartz Cove, minus the algae. It is a lot of vegetarian, mostly mushroom based foods. Though there is some meat involved, a lot of fish, a little bit of shellfish. There's a bit of like a seafood chowder served alongside a kind of like a portobello steak.
Ooh.
A little bit of surf and turf.
Remy's face.
This Remy, who is used to mostly having to eat hardtack, getting a portobello steak this is like
This is life.
Christmas.
Yeah. There's some fish tacos too. It's great.
Fish sticks.
Fish sticks. What are you? Some kind of gay fish?
Wow.
South Park joke. Couldn't help it. Anyways, so after a hearty meal, more than you've had in a little while at this point, and especially the fact that it was hot and very well prepared, you guys can make your way out into the city to go get plastered, if that's what you're looking, and trashed.
Ooh.
We're going to get and trashed.
Plastered.
So there's a couple of taverns I can think of off the top of my head. There's the coal mine, which is primarily where some of the miners go to get sauced after work.
Okay.
It's a bit of a lower end place though, so be prepared to be drinking stuff with a little bit of grit in it.
I'm sorry, I got so confused then when you said miners go to drink. I was like, wait.
The miners. All the children.
It's the hip club.
So it's where you go to get the juice, if you know what
It's
I mean.
pop
Juice.
night.
Oh god. There's the Red Nose, which is a bit more of a higher end place. It's also an inn, so it's better. You can probably expect not to get in a few brawls there, unlike the other one. And I know there's another one. It's kind of a no-name establishment that's sort of not really a tavern, more the Thieves Guild of the area. But also not officially, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, can't really
People just sort of get
have a...
drunk there and discuss business.
Maybe that'd be a good place to start.
I mean, the unofficial Thieves Guild probably has a lot of information in it.
Yeah.
But I also imagine the miners would have a good idea of like where things are sealed off, and maybe with a drink or two might say why.
Do you maybe want to split up into groups of 2 or 2 and 3?
Would I know if there'd be any connection between this unofficial?
Some Thieves Guilds communicate. It's a bit complicated because none of them are like super official. They kind of just like...
It's not like a connection. It's not like this is like a branch of
the Adventurers Guild. No, it's more like a band of thieves who kind of work together to keep each
no,
other out of
not a
trouble.
branch of the Adventurers Guild.
I'm assuming this is some
No, but no, it's
backstory
not a
stuff.
branch of the Telonan. It's not a branch of the Telonan Thieves Guild. There's no branches. It's kind of just like this city's congregations of rapscallions kind of
so
working
there
together to
wouldn't
not get in
be
shit.
it wouldn't be something where it's like, oh, I like am fencing these items, like, so I have connections with it. It would or wouldn't.
Ooh.
No, they wouldn't have any connect. Sorry, repeat the question. I need to think it.
Is there okay? So with my connection with Tali,
Yeah, with Tali.
would I think with my big brain that there could possibly be any, if I were to go there and name drop basically, would that possibly
likely
help us?
No. There wouldn't be a connection between Telona and this one.
Okay.
It's not how they work.
Okay.
I mean, if you're wanting to split up, I say that me and Remy go to the miners, purely because I think that.
I don't think leaving the casters together is a good idea.
Well, you can go with...
Well, the reason why is because I just think that if me and Remy, a giant Goliath and a blue boy, start wandering around some shifty characters, it's gonna like cause some wrong looks from some of the dwarves, and I don't really think we need that negative attention right now.
That's
So you're gonna
Definitely
send
don't want to
us
stand out too
there?
much.
Oh, wait,
No,
We go
as
to the
in,
miners.
but isn't that
it
the
would
rough place?
it would draw more attention for sure to have a Triton and a Goliath go to the Thieves Guild.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
At least Nori and Xylia can kind of put a hood up and be a bit less.
And, they can be inconspicuous. I'm huge. I can't get anywhere without drawing all the attention from these little guys.
I could also disguise myself as a dwarf, but I can't speak dwarvish, so it might not go to plan. Are there any other, I guess, races or people
I mean,
that
is
visit
there
the
any need
Thieves
to...
Guild?
No, this is predominantly a dwarven society here.
I'm
Okay.
down for that plan. I don't know if there's any particular need. I don't know anything much about the Thieves Guild, but is there a particular need to trick them? Like, can't we just be like, I didn't...
It's more. I
Fitting
think it's
in.
less about. Yeah.
It's
They
more so
might
they
be
feel
less willing to
comfortable
talk to
sharing
us if-
info. Mm-hmm.
Like, with the way that all of these little guys were looking at us as we came in, I'd rather
Well,
not get on the wrong side of anyone.
Would Xylia know?
A lot of them coming after me might hurt.
Do dwarves associate more in general with like elves, orcs, or humans?
Not elves. They fucking hate elves.
Okay.
So like if I think of like thieves, right? They like things like can't we trade items or gold for information? Maybe they'll take information for information.
We probably
Well,
could.
for thieves guilds for sure, they're all about kind of reciprocation. This is something Nori would know very well. That the thieves guild is all about. Like, well, what can you do for me? Nothing is free for between thieves.
Of course.
Yeah, maybe just give them. I don't know what kind of information.
We won't know until they ask for it. They're not just going to want any old information. It'll be requested information, I'd assume. It's a good enough idea, though. We can definitely go.
Well, just don't agree to do something super bad. So I won't do it.
I look at Nori to see how she responded to that.
Agreeing to do something super bad? Is that what you're...
Uh-huh.
I mean, Nori will just nod and be like, yeah.
Okay.
You not trust them, Remy.
Do you say that out loud? Yeah, Remy, do you not trust us?
I trust you guys. I just think that I'm not super in line with the culture that you guys are from. I
Insight
don't
check.
always
Does Remy actually trust us?
Is that a
I'm
deception
sorry.
check or is that a persuasion check?
It's a little bit of both.
All right, do you trust them or not?
I
It depends
In this
what the
respect.
question
In this
is.
respect.
in this respect, I don't trust.
Okay, so deception check.
Come on.
Oh no, dude! Remy's like lying through his teeth.
Remy can't look
Apparently,
you while he's saying this. He like cannot look in the eyes.
there's a bit of a cold sweat.
Remy, would you feel better if we just went with them and we just stuck together for a bit?
No. I'm going to trust them that they wouldn't
Oh.
agree to do something like super evil.
I'll try to
Right?
keep the kids out of trouble.
I visibly relax.
Listen here.
I think Nori feels a little bit bummed after, like, I don't know, having Remy kind of being like, no, I trust that, kind of being like half and half and stuff, and Nori's a little bit bummed.
Xylee
She's a
is
little
not
bummed. She looks
surprised
a
in the
little bummed.
slightest from the previous encounter in the cave.
I think you guys just get carried away sometimes.
Yeah, I genuinely do not think that anybody here is a bad person. I just sometimes don't know the intentions is all. But I'm not from where you guys are from. I don't really know you guys' backgrounds, so I'm just cautious, but
That makes sense.
if I really didn't trust you guys, I wouldn't. So don't worry about it, okay? Adios.
Everything's fine. Bye.
Everything is awesome.
I don't see you guys as incredibly shifty. Just sometimes I'm a bit confused by what you do.
Mm-hmm.
We're also
Get
confused by
results.
what we do.
All right. Well, if you guys want to head over to the coal mine, that's it's basically right next to the Adventurers Guild, just to the south. As for those of us going to the Thieves Guild, you're gonna have to go through some tunnels, but we'll get there quick enough.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
All right. So we are splitting, in fact, into groups of two.
Mm-hmm.
So, Remy and Keothi, you guys eventually end up. You guys are right there still. Go down to the coal mine. As for Zalia and Nori, Kimeth takes you down, or to the excavation site, and down some of the tunnels, some of the top layer tunnels. Then after quickly getting his bearings, at first he seems a little bit lost, and he's kind of muttering to himself, "Yeah, it's been a little while since I've been down here. Looks like they made some changes
Oh,
this way."
Is it? I'm
we're
assuming
gonna
it's
get
like.
lost in the
Is it
forever.
dark down here or lit up?
It is. Yeah, it's dark.
Okay, I'll cast dancing lights then.
Okay.
I'll make it
Little
into.
globes of light.
Well, it says you can make up to 4, so I'm gonna make 4 appear in front of me. But it says you can also combine them into one glowy, vaguely
Yep.
humanoid form. So I'm just gonna have it follow alongside us.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's not terrifying.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's a light,
Just our glowy,
baby.
our glowy friend, our glowing humanoid friend.
It's the child of the light. It's fine.
Okay.
Chandi Jr.
Kimeth looks at the vaguely humanoid shape of lights and looks back over at you, Zali, and says, "It's an interesting spell."
Yeah, I just can't really see very well in low light situations, so.
Sorry, I'm so tired today.
Light child.
Well, definitely stands out more than your average light spell.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It is what it is. And he continues to lead you through some of the tunnels until you as you're like passing by through a tunnel, you notice that kind of off to the side there seems to be doors that have been chiseled into the rock. And he steps over to it and kind of just loudly bangs on it a few times. And it's eventually opened by a black-haired, black-bearded dwarf whose face is almost entirely covered by his hair and beard. You can kind of just see like his squinty eyes poking out around like that's what I'm looking for. Just this mop of hair that covers him entirely. He looks out from around the side, looks at all of you, and says, "What's your business?" In Dwarvish.
Hola.
I was expecting Nori to say something, so.
Oh, is Kimeth not leading us anymore? Like this is.
He is leading you, but I expected you to chime in before anybody else because that's just what you do.
Because you're
but,
Nori.
Well,
if
surprise,
Nori
motherfucker.
if Nori doesn't immediately say something, then Kimeth says, "We're here to grab a drink." And the man or dwarf nods. Man dwarf, they're both the same. Anyways,
Man, dwarf pig.
The more
man dwarf. He nods and lets you guys in, and you can see in here it is lit up with again more of those like reddish lamps, which upon closer inspection are not. There's no like fire going on in them. It seems to be just this little ball of floating red light.
I will dismiss my
and
dancing
it's-
lights instantly then.
Okay, yeah. And like initially when the light poured in, you got a few looks, but people immediately kind of go back to what they were doing. Once it's gone, and you can see within is kind of like this 2-layered bar situation where the top layer is the bar with a few like sitting areas. Decently well spread out, enough that one can have kind of a hushed conversation without having to worry necessarily about people overhearing it. The bar itself seems to be again this like chiseled rock kind of like right out of the room, creating the furniture. And there's just casks and casks of ale set into the back, and you can see as well the man behind the bar is kind of just this really spare looking dwarf compared to normal. He looks more stringy than stocky, the way most dwarves are. and he is just covered in knives by the looks of it.
Like wearing
He's
them?
got, yeah, wearing
Okay.
them.
No, they're just deep. They're just hilt.
Yeah, they're just inside him.
Yeah.
We realize he's not actually alive.
he's fully dead or undead.
Kenneth has pulled the wool over our eyes, and we are next to the slaughter.
You can see at some of the tables, dwarves are sitting around playing cards with seemingly large pots at stake. And down on the second level, you can see what appears to be a small brawling arena. And you can see two shirtless dwarves currently duking it out in there, just fisticuffs. As well as a little bit off to the side, you can see an area for kind of like throwing darts, or in this case, knives, as well as crossbows. So basically just like almost like a shooting range, I guess, where again, it looks like people are taking bets and making a little bit of cash.
Looking at the people playing cards, how big is the pots?
By the looks of the amount of gold in the middle of the table, it looks like the ante to get in is 5 gold, and some of the pots have gone up to as high as like 50, 60 gold.
Okay.
Is there? I'm gonna lean over to Kenneth and be kind of like, is there someone specifically we're supposed to talk to?
Guess as good as mine. I don't come in here very often. I've been here a couple times with my party, but it was never me doing the talking.
Oh.
I'm just going to ask him too. Do these people speak common at all?
They do.
Okay. Good to know.
Better if you spoke Thieves Can't, but...
Wait, what?
Thieves Can't?
Is
It's
that
kind of like a...
It's
not a language as much as I guess like an
I know it's not.
understanding.
I know I don't have a proficiency in it, but would I know?
I know I don't know Thieves Can't.
I
know
feel
Thieves
no, but I feel like I would have Pastor Tally to like teach me like maybe 5 words or something. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Your relationship with Holly kind of started before she was ever in the Thieves Guild. That's when the majority of your relationship was with her. You only after a certain event in your life got to know that she was actually in the Thieves Guild and spent a little bit of time with her. So
yeah, but I feel like I probably at that point in time bugged the fuck out of her about.
She could have tried to teach you a bit, but it will require like a roll every time you try to do anything with it.
Okay.
And it's going to be a difficult one because it's not like a language as much as it's like a certain understanding of. No, more like so like
I gotta do like some hand movements.
Nora's just throwing up gang signs in the Thieves Guild.
Jesus Christ.
And we never saw
mind.
her again.
Now I maybe think we should have gone with them.
So what would the dwarf term be for 6 feet under? Because I feel like we're probably we're a lot further than that right now.
They do this. Hello, Onyx.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Return him to the stone would probably be the proper word or proper verbiage.
Cool. Well, can I look around the room? Does anyone here seem like the kind of person that I should be talking to?
I mean, what exactly does that mean?
So we're trying to figure out, right, more information about like off limits places or stuff like that. That's kind of the main goal, right? Like we're just trying to intel gather for trying to find where the ruins are. So probably not anyone. That's like rough and what's up?
They all look like shifty characters, if that's what you're
Yeah,
wondering.
but I don't want like the rough and rowdy boys. I want like the silent shifty type. Like someone that looks like they know a lot of shit and they're keeping to themselves.
It's kind of mixed groups all around. Like they're like the guys brawling down below are definitely more of the rough and tumble kind of boys. But if you want the shiftier boys, there are some who are up on the top floor playing cards, but there's an equal amount of rough boys doing the same.
I'm gonna walk up to the bartender.
Okay.
And I'm gonna order drinks for all three of us.
Hell yeah.
What kind of drink you want? That's Kimith's voice. I don't want Kimith's voice.
Kimith, why are you behind the bar? Kimith works
What do
here
you
all alone.
How many jobs do you have?
So many. No, wait, no, that's the bartender's voice.
What do you recommend?
Depends. Could you hold your liquor? Because I would recommend a dwarven ale, but for
3
somebody
dwarven
as
ales,
small as you-
please.
All right.
I'm also 5'11". I'm not that small.
Yeah, but you're like compared to these like big.
Just
we,
like
we both kind of are.
Yeah.
You're twigs.
These are
Yay.
dwarves. Dwarves are like short and squat and just like
Short and
muscle
stout?
bound.
Burly
Yes,
as fuck.
exactly.
Here is their handle. Here is this.
Is this stout? So comparatively, you are like this tiny little stick figure compared to these like.
You know-
I would like 3 dwarven ales, please.
Your funeral. Pours three ales and slides all 3 steins over to you. That'll be 1 gold.
Thank you. I'd also like to know
Your secrets
If-
spill.
if one were looking if one were looking to deal in the ways of information, who might we
I might be able to help. Depends what kind of information you're looking for.
Cool, I want to take a big old glug of that ale.
Okay. Like halfway down, or are you gonna try and chug it?
No, I'm not going like cray. Like I'm gonna enjoy this ale. Like
Okay.
so, but I just want to take a drink.
On a scale of beer to like hard liquor, this is right on the proximity of being like straight Jack Daniels.
I'm ready.
Oh god.
Delicious.
It hits you like a fucking hammer as you take like a mouthful of it. I will need a con save from you, Nori.
Oofda.
Come on, I believe.
I'm gonna Tides of Chaos it.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
I don't think
gotta
you.
make-
Yo, let's go.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure if you had Tides of Chaos because you haven't had a long rest and haven't cast a spell since battle.
Yeah, but the last one you had me roll, and then I got it back, and then I didn't use it
Yeah,
again
on
because
the
we
boat.
murdered
Oh.
everything.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So you make that just fine. You don't even like flinch as you finally end up swallowing and wipe your mouth.
Delicious.
Seeing Nori just drink it like it was nothing,
Aggressive.
I'm gonna assume that the dwarf was just lying about it being strong and take a big glug of it myself
no,
too.
Riley, I get
Okay.
fucked.
Is that a con?
I will need a con save from you as well. Yeah.
Yo, let's
Oh,
go.
Nice, dude.
Again.
We out here looking fucking fierce, son.
Yeah.
You are both handling it just fine. You also swallow. You definitely notice the burn. It's like trying to take a drink of water and then realizing about halfway through your long sip that it's actually vodka.
I love it.
But it goes down well enough. You don't choke or cough any. And the man looks between the two of you and gives like a slight nod, and Kimith is just kind of off to the side drinking it with seemingly absolutely no
Kimith's on his 4th fucking thing already.
Game recognizes game.
He's just having a good time.
We fuck.
We fuck.
fuck.
These magic nerds. Fuck.
But yeah, it depends on what kind of information you're looking for, I guess. I can maybe point you in the right direction.
We're just kind of trying to find some new work potentially, but particularly in regards to restricted access areas. We've heard some tell about areas of caves being walled off. places people don't go. You know, just kind of want to get a.
You want to loot the restricted areas.
Never would we ever do something like that ever. And then I'm just like, wink.
Can I get a general intelligence check from you to try and, like, I guess thieves can't it? I feel like that's like a really lame attempt at thieves can't.
What do you mean what about persuasion or maybe performance because of my charisma?
I think it's more
Like I said,
I think it's more of a charisma.
Yeah, I guess it would be more. Okay, I'll do performance.
Hey.
Okay. Oh wow, it's even. But hey, that 7 is very helpful. It took it from a 7 to a 14.
True.
Holy fucking 7?
Yeah, I'm a very That's why all of you guys haven't either murdered or abandoned me yet, is while I am an awful human, as while I lie, well, not lie, as while I tell lots of stories, and could definitely get on someone's nerves. My 7 charisma keeps you magnetized towards me.
You are very correct, it does.
Love it.
Wink.
Well, while I would never condone such activities whatsoever, as it goes against the laws of the mining companies, there are some who have delved in such activities, seeing as it can be lucrative, since most of those restricted areas are typically fallen relics, and selling things found within can be profitable in the right parties. I would possibly talk to that group over there, and he kind of points a finger over at one of the tables playing some card game that you've never seen before. No.
This is where my Buno skills will come in handy. I have to defeat them in Buno for the information.
I hear that Roderick over there may have some sway within the mining companies themselves. And he kind of points to one dwarf in particular, a kind of short-haired, with a very thick beard, blonde dwarf who looks very red in the face at this point, and is very clearly having trouble keeping his stein in an upright position while holding it. It's kind of like shifting every which way as he's going to take sips. Though I wouldn't approach him directly with such requests. We're not exactly here to talk business all the time, and he's very clearly having a good night.
What would your recommendation on approach be then?
Chat him up, play a couple games, lose some gold to him.
I'm very good at that. Thank you for your time. It is greatly appreciated. Can I get another ale, please?
Sure. Have you already finished yours?
No, I'm only halfway through mine.
Okay, so you just want another one?
Yes.
Okay. So he pours you another one. 3 silver.
Cool, I'm gonna give him a gold.
So he takes it. He takes it and kind of does like the running it between his fingers thing before just putting it in his palm, and next when he opens his hand, it's just gone.
You know, magic
I can
too.
do magic too. Both of us. We're both like, ooh, magic. So I'm gonna, I don't know. I want to do something. I want to do something fancy with prestidigitation. I'm gonna clean a single cubic foot of his bar.
Okay. It's already pretty immaculate. He seems to be keeping a. I mean, you could clean off some of like the spillage of beer, I guess.
Cool. But what I want to actually do, can I prestidigitate an illusory image that can fit in my hand? That it's me, a tiny me, and tiny me runs across his bar with a little mop and cleans up the cubic foot area.
So you prestidigitate the illusion, and then you prestidigitate the cleaning at the same time.
That's
yes.
5-head as fuck.
He kind of he watches this happen and just frowns at it and looks back at you. A mage, huh?
Nope.
Best keep that to yourself here.
Maybe you've had a little too much to drink. I appreciate your time. I'll turn around with the 2 tankards and be on my way.
The fucking instant panic. Nope.
A mage,
love it.
nope.
Even with your not so good passive perception, you will notice that his eyes almost never leave you now as you walk away.
I'm gonna make my way downstairs.
I
to the
mean, I have
brawling
that
ring
effect
too.
on many men if we're gonna go.
Oh my god.
I've had many a man yell at me. I take my eyes off of you for 1 second.
True. IRL, this is true.
And in game. Anyways,
This is why I need to have her on camera even though we're in the same room.
just in case.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way to the underground brawling ring.
Okay.
Nori's at
Beat
the
up
table.
Can you go beat up some dwarves with your spaghetti arm?
You need those.
Are you gonna flail your limp noodles around them?
Don't make me fireball this whole fucking place down.
Whoa, it's not like we're on a ship or anything.
Oh my god.
Okay. You don't know about that.
I don't see any defenseless slaves around here for you
Oh my god.
So you can make your way down to the brawling area, Xylia, and you can see that it's sort of just this like dirt ring in the ground that has been sort of repeatedly stamped into a softer surface than the stone of the area, just with the sheer amount of people who have eaten shit on this floor. And you can see that there's like a little bit of blood kind of mixed into the sand and dirt that makes up the ground. And there's not really any like boundaries to the ring in terms of like any like ropes or anything to denote where it is. It's more just where the ground ends. You can see dwarves sort of making the boundary themselves as they all crowd around to watch this.
Okay.
And as you watch, it's just these two rather stocky looking dwarves sort of just kind of having a fist fight. It's a very typical boxing match with no gloves or anything like that. Just beating the ever-living dick out of each other.
Okay. Is there anybody around, maybe kind of off to the sides, not so much as part of the wall, that is like watching from a distance?
There's plenty of people watching more from a distance than actually making up the actual boundary of it, and there are, you know, people having talks amongst themselves while watching the fight. And you can see there's one dwarf in particular who has just like a book open, sort of writing down what appear to be numbers as he's doing tallies of something.
Okay, I'm gonna go over to him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just go up and say hey.
Hi. Looking to make a bet?
Are you the person that I come to make a bet?
Yes.
Interesting. So how does this work? Are we betting on the victor of this fight that's currently ongoing?
Well, the one with the red hair over there, Victor, let's call him. Davey. Victor
Davey, no!
is currently the runner-up, the one we expect to win, right? So we've got 2-to-1 odds on him. So if you vote on, or if you bet on him, your return is less compared to what you would get if you were to bet on Evan there, who's the underdog. We don't expect him to win. He's not won very often. That being said, better return if he does win. It is a little bit late in the match, though, to be making bets. We're 7 rounds in, and we're already kind of seeing the results as they're going. So if you do make a bet now, they'll be diminished based on how late into the round you've made them, or how late into the fight you've made them.
I like the sound of that. So which one of these dwarves here are usually the big badders? You point anybody out to me?
Afraid I shouldn't share that kind of information. Maybe I might be able to cross some boundaries with the right incentive.
Well, I'd make sure there's something in it for you, and I'll pull out my coin purse. How much
He looks at it and then back at you, just waiting for you to say more, basically.
How much are we talking?
How much are we talking? What's this information worth to you?
I mean, I could just go and ask around. However, this is just an easier way to get the information. Maybe 2 gold?
$5.
I'll make it 3 gold, 5 silver.
Done.
Okay, I hand it
He
over.
holds out his hand. All right. He takes it and quickly stashes it away, and he has a much larger purse on his side where he's clearly been putting the bets, and then just behind that there's a smaller purse that seems to be kind of hidden within his belt, and you can see him lift the belt slowly, slide the coins, and then close it back.
Okay.
And he without being too obvious about it, with his finger under his chin, he points out 3 specific dwarves. We've got Bareth over there, who's a regular bettor here. Anything that goes on in here, he's put a bet on it pretty much. We've got Gregor. And he kind of like Bareth, just puts his money on anything that has a gold value. He doesn't make the better decisions. I would say Bareth is the better gambler. Oof, alliteration. It's hard. And Connor over there. Connor's not a big bettor, but he makes good bets.
Sorry, Connor and Gregor?
Connor, Gregor, and Bareth.
Okay.
They're definitely the most money that comes into my pockets, but I would say Connor and Bareth are the ones who walk away with more money than Evan.
Okay. Thank you for the information. I appreciate it.
Not Evan. Evan's the fighter.
Yeah,
Gregor.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take a few steps away and eye up each one and just see. I don't know what particularly I'd be looking for, but which one looks, I guess, more knowledgeable, smarter. Just if there is any indistinguishable features.
All 3 of them look like they're drunken idiots at the moment, so it's kind of a hard sell for any of it.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up the corner.
Okay. He's cheering on Victor currently and telling him to put his back into it and knock the sucker out. Then as you walk up to him, he kind of immediately takes notice of you, not only because you're the only human here, but because the amulet around your neck, which is, despite being underneath your shirt, spilling out a little bit of purple light from your collar at this point.
Okay. Hey, Connor, is it?
It is?
Hey, it's good to meet you. I've heard a lot of good things.
From
Yeah.
who?
From a few people in here, actually. We're kind of new to the area, but I hear you're a big winner here. You put quite a few bets on.
Yeah. I make a decent amount of money here.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. Just interested in the betting side of things. You bet on Victor here?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's the obvious choice. He's won his last 10 matches.
Okay. How would you like maybe a little private bet with myself?
Maybe. What's it entail?
Well, it depends. How much do you usually bet on things like this?
This is an obvious match. I'm not going to put too much money on it. Just enough to round out my winnings, I'd put about 150 gold on Victor.
150 gold. Okay. What if I was to offer you a pretty good bet? Say, I'll bet on Evan over here. And I'll put a gold wager up of 100 gold. But in return, I don't really want any gold. I just want maybe a little bit of information that you might have.
He gives you this like squinting look. What kind of information?
I'm here with a few friends. We're looking to maybe go on a few adventures, some abandoned ruins, things like that. Just looking to see if there's any...
Ruins.
Yeah, ruins, guardians. We like a bit of a fight. Not in the traditional ways like here, but...
And what makes you think I know anything about this?
Nothing in particular. I just thought I'd offer since I know you like your gold and I like my information. If you don't, then I'll move on, but it was definitely worth asking.
Not really my area of expertise.
You know anybody that would? Or would you maybe be able to get
I
the
know a
information
couple.
for me?
I could. This fight is coming to a close, though, and rather soon. And I don't think your boy's gonna win.
I've seen things like this turn around quite easily in the past. I'm a sucker for a good old underdog story.
I guess I'd be an idiot to turn down 100 free gold, so sure. Why not?
Sounds good.
He spits into his palm and holds it out to you.
Yeah, I will spit into mine and shake away.
All right. So
I'll catch you around here when the fight's almost done. I'm just gonna go grab a beer.
sure.
Sounds good.
And he leans back against the wall and continues to watch the fight.
Okay. I'm gonna... What round are we on currently?
7.
Out of 11?
Yeah.
Okay.
Assuming there's no knockout.
Mhm.
Which, by the way, Evan's kind of staggering about. Could be this round, could be next.
Okay. I'm gonna blend in as well as I can, or just try and hide in the darkness as much as I possibly can. Just out of
Okay.
sight from anybody.
Make me a stealth check, I guess, to try and blend in. Which is difficult being the only human there. You definitely stand almost a foot above most of the occupants.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're about as hidden as you can get, realistically.
Okay.
Which is not very well hidden at all. It's not being a thieves guild. People are kind of, they know the tricks of hiding and being hidden. So there's not really well set up anywhere in here that you can be, in the shadows.
Okay. It's quite loud in here, right?
Yeah, it's pretty loud,
Okay.
especially around the fighting ring. There's lots of people talking, lots of people yelling.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In the middle of the round, then, I'm gonna whisper into my hand and cast blindness on Victor.
Oh boy.
Stares at the bartender that literally just told us to keep the fact that we're mages under wraps.
Well, nobody can see it and hear it, so...
It is just vocal. There's no somatic
Yeah.
components.
It's just vocal,
So-
and it could easily be passed off as concussion.
Blindness.
It could be passed off as concussion,
Ooh.
and it worked.
So yeah, as you cast the spell, the dwarves' eyes suddenly go from being, white with brown irises to just being a full black, and he sort of stops in place looking confused for a second. And Evan, seeing him stop and like this sort of like slack jaw look on his face come over him, lunges in and goes for a sucker punch and we'll see how successful that is.
Wait, what?
That's not right at all.
No. It just rolled a 2.
Hold on. Yeah, I'll just have to roll it
I
twice.
was like, really? That happened?
14 does hit. Landing a solid hit against his chin. Victor goes down in a heap as he's unable to defend himself or see where the hit's coming from. And the crowd kind of just like goes silent as they're not entirely sure what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
But there's hushed murmurs as some of them start saying, though not that you would understand it because they're speaking in Dwarven. Did you see his eyes? What happened to his eyes? Why'd he stop? And one of them, in a much darker intonation, that only Nori would actually understand. There's magic afoot in here. I saw it. His eyes changed color randomly. And they all start kind of looking around. And you can see Connor look directly over at you. And he's got this one eyebrow raised slightly. And slowly all the dwarves down there in the fighting ring itself kind of begin to rest their eyes on the newcomer, being Xylia.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing I'm upstairs.
The one with the glowing necklace. And the guy who's taking the bets is kind of looking at you right now and says, we don't get very many mages around here. Certainly not so many with glowing artifacts on them.
Yeah. Actually, that wasn't me. I am a mage. However, I wouldn't know how to do anything like that. That's some pretty powerful stuff. This amulet was given to me by someone years ago. I have no idea what it is. I just know that it glows when I feel like I'm in danger, and it's just throbbing right now.
Go ahead and make me a deception check.
Fuck.
It was really nice getting to know this character, and I'm really excited
to deceive me.
And I'm really excited to see what new character you roll up after this session, Bran. So.
Force beat the ever living shit out of you. Yeah.
I entirely regret saying we should split up. I thought we were going to cause a scene. Oh no!
You see why Remy doesn't fully trust the party.
Xylia, you are.
I'm listening to Remy.
Xylia, you are grabbed basically immediately by dwarves directly behind you. And you are brought into the center of the ring.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Do you struggle against this? Do you try to break away or do anything?
No.
Okay. And as they kind of hold your arms up, dwarves start taking turns just decking the ever-living shit out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Do Kimeth or I, like, are we aware?
You can see Xylia being dragged into the middle of the ring, and Kimeth kind of looks over and says, "Idiot."
I'm gonna look over at Kimeth and go, "Are they gonna kill him?
Nah. But he's gonna wish he died.
After? Are they gonna let him go after? Like, do we get him back? Do they return?
We'll get him back at the end of the night, most likely.
Oof, duh.
So Xylia, I'm gonna need a.
He's about to sacrifice himself to Oracle right now.
Listen, I know who my fucking next sacrifice is gonna be, the little bitch.
If you're not resisting in any way, Xylia.
I wasn't resisting the grab. I'm gonna be resisting the kickings.
Okay, so Not kickings. They're just actually just punching you in the face and in the chest and in the
Wait,
the
so
stomach.
how are they punching? Did they get him down on his knees to punch him in the face?
No, they can reach up to his face.
Oh.
They're not
All right.
that short. They're like a
He's
foot
like-
shorter.
Yo, he's like 6 foot something.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot on the dot.
Oh, I thought you were 5 foot.
No, I'm 6.
No, he's 6
I'm
foot.
5.
All right, so then,
I'm 5
so
foot.
instead,
Yeah, Remy's 5 foot.
In fact,
We're
you know
6.
what?
I'm
Fuck
all right.
it.
Well, instead of your face,
5'11".
they're punching you in the
Well,
solar
no.
plexus repeatedly.
I can be on my knees. I don't mind. And you know what? I won't resist. I'll just smile at them.
Creepy as fuck. What's wrong with this whole?
I'm gonna need a series of Constitution checks to see if you can you can keep that smile up.
Okay.
And just remain. All right. That's so after the first.
Has Roderick stopped drinking and playing his game to also be
They're kind of
this spectacle?
looking over the side as well, watching this happen. Yeah.
I want to try and like sidle up to Roderick maybe with my extra ale and kind of uninvasively kind of just very off the cuff like comment like damn, some different kind of entertainment going on tonight, huh?
Yeah. Well, we don't much like cheaters around here. I mean, we all cheat, but we cheat using our actual means. Mages, they're just unfair.
Yeah, that just seems not right at all. And I'm gonna kind of like offer up the ale and be like, typically I enjoy drinks with my shows.
I do too. Thanks.
And I'll clink my ale to his ale.
He clinks it and continues to watch Xylia, who needs to make me another Constitution save as another round of beatings starts.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
So you managed while you are bleeding heavily out your own, like you've coughed up blood a couple times now. You're still managing to smile at everybody.
Mhm.
And I'll need one more con save, and that's it. Ooh.
Probably
Unfortunately, after that round of beatings, you do fall unconscious. As you're just unable to maintain the concentration over the pain threshold you're currently in.
Can I? Okay, no, it doesn't matter.
And your limp body is dragged back up the stairs to the door and then just tossed out into the tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody
Is he,
kind of
like-
just slowly
is he,
goes
like-
back to what they were doing.
He's not. I mean, out there, but he's not like bleeding out death saves, right? He's just
No, he's knocked out. It was all non-lethal. They're just giving him a beating he won't soon forget.
Roughing him.
There's as they're kind of slowly going back to what they were doing, and like, you know, the bets are basically called off and people are being given back their money. There's definitely muttering amongst them about how like weird it was that he was just able to smile through it until he lost consciousness. Like a lot of the dwarves seem a little bit put off by that.
Yeah, it's gonna be really great traveling around this city with him from now on, because news of like that's definitely not gonna spread.
I mean, not many people are
You
in
know
the
that
Thieves
one
Guild, and they're not
I mean, it's
gonna
the Thieves
admit
Guild,
that they
the
are.
entire-
I wouldn't have done it if it was a normal tavern.
Peeps still talk. Peeps still be saying stuff. They don't have to say where it happened at. I'm gonna kind of give eyes at Kimeth and actually send him. Can I do If I do message, would it like people know that I've cast a spell? Does that make sense?
I
like,
think you'd be
telepathic?
fine. Yeah, because it's silent and like people would just take it as they didn't hear you, because it's loud in here.
Okay, I'm gonna just like send Kimeth a message basically and be like, "You want to go check on our buddy?" And I'll kind of keep.
Yeah,
Keep it
I'll
on
go
here.
make sure he's not dying. What was that?
Sneeze.
Adam
I thought it was. I thought it was a dog. I thought it was a dog at first.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, you have a
I also
puppy?"
thought a dog bark.
I was like, you don't have a
wish-
dog.
I wish sometimes that Adam was a puppy.
But
No. Sorry.
but
Kimeth stands up and heads out to go care for the now unconscious Xylia.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are just weird, huh? Say that to Roderick.
Look, I can't exactly blame a mage for wanting to use what talents they have to try and get the best out of life. It's just, we're an honest bunch of thieves down here. We only do what any other thief can do. So a mage coming down here and flaunting their shit and making the rest of us have to scramble after them, that's just not fair. Oh, Xyla, you also had 100 gold taken from your coin
Of
purse,
course.
just so you know.
Oh.
You lost the bet, technically.
Ooh, that's what you get, you
I
dirty
mean, I had
cheater.
a plan with that anyway, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So back to, it looked like you guys were playing some cards. You guys got space for one more?
Yeah. Have a seat. Auntie's 5 gold.
Yeah, no problem. I just yas the 5 gold on in there.
All right. So you have no idea how to play this game, I don't think, unless you're
Yeet.
proficient in card games. I don't think.
No. What about simple weapon? No, I'm just
No.
kidding. Joking.
Really quickly, are we gonna take a break at all anytime soon?
We probably should, yeah, because we got like what, an hour after this.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just asking because I'm really hungry, and if we
Yeah.
weren't, I was just gonna get up while she plays cards and go.
Yeah, no, actually, if you want to do that, because we're
do that.
ending a half hour earlier, if you want to like take a 10-minute break yourself while I get through this with
While
Nori.
we're not.
Yeah.
I'm,
Good idea.
yeah, I'm also just eating my burrito right now, so it's all good.
Okay. So Nori, Roger kind of looks at you as he's like dealing cards to you, and it's kind of obvious that you have no idea what you're looking at. As he looks over and he's like, "You ever play sixes before?"
Nope, but I've been told I'm pretty good at cards, so if you want to just give me a quick rundown of these rules, then we can get this party started.
All right. Well, the idea is to end up with the highest number in your hand. The only exception to the rule is if you roll a 6, it trumps any. Or sorry, if you have a 6, it trumps any other card.
Cool.
So to start this off, Nori, because you don't have proficiency, there's only really one action you could take, and that's a sleight of hand, which you can try to sleight of hand and re-roll one of your results. If you fail the sleight of hand, though, people will see that you're cheating.
Mm-hmm.
So you can roll 1d6, 1d10, and 1d20 to see what your hand is.
Oh, that's wrong.
That's nope, not quite.
Well, that's a big number.
That's a big number. All right, so
Art 6 is good.
yep, 6s are good. So you've got a 21 currently.
Hey,
Blackjack.
go fish.
So for the sake of simplicity, I'm only going to have you rolling against Roderick, though.
Wait, why do I have a 21?
Total.
I have a 22. 6 plus 13 and 3.
You're right. I can't count.
What does it mean by 6 trumps anything, though? Wouldn't that mean it's a 10, technically?
What? He's cheating.
Yes, he's cheating. So he's got a 28, but you cancel out his 3, so he's got a 25. So he's still beating you,
Oh.
or he still beats you. So you lose the 5 gold.
Okay. Inside Nori's like, no, but outside Nori's like, I gotta do it for the team. Those are both inside Nori things, though. She doesn't say that.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of this. One more round.
Right. You had a pretty good card. You have some beginner's luck going on over there. So again,
It
you
should
can.
only get better.
So another 5 gold to ante in.
And what is it again? A D6, D10, D20?
Yeah.
D6. Ooh! D10.
Ooh,
Oofed.
less good.
D20.
Oh.
my God.
Oh wait, that is good. Shit.
I
So
did
he
only
needs-
roll a 1 on that one.
Isn't
I want a sleight of hand. Can I sleight of
He-
hand that
he-
middle one?
Oh,
He physically can't beat that roll
I was gonna say that's
Oh.
like impossible
because
to beat. That's a
he has a
1-1-1.
0-0.
Oh, because my 6 still
Mhm.
Are
is
still
add
you have
together. Oh, okay,
13
cool.
and he would have to roll a 13 on a d10, which he physically can't.
Plus, aren't you wanting to
Cool.
lose to him anyway?
Not this time.
I guess actually he could roll 6s as well though.
True.
All right, try it. Mike, I'm conflicted. I want to win, but I also want to lose. You did it. You're
Oh,
cheating.
Shit.
Aw.
Oh, wait, no, this could still be good.
Oh right, that's
Oh,
he's got a 16 and you have a 13.
he still won. What?
He's cheating,
As he-
right?
He sees you play your cards and he looks at them and he's like, "That's a mighty nice hand." And he plays his.
Wait, how does he have a 16?
Because he has luck and anime on his side.
Because
He'd
you
have a
only
10. I rolled 2 6s, so his 6 and
yeah,
his
but
7 cancel out.
Well, no, he rolled
Six
a 6
his 6
as well.
isn't
cancels
canceled out
my
by your
6?
6. It's not like you
It
both have a
doesn't count?
6. Yeah, so it's not canceled out.
Oofta.
Oh.
Yeah, so the 7 gets canceled out, but the 10 is like still there, obviously.
You got the god rolls.
This guy commented about the fact that they like cheat on their own, right? Like that they.
Yep.
So would I be able to discern if cheating would be like smiled upon in here? It's a thievy thing to do. Onyx.
You wouldn't-
Onyx
You wouldn't get your ass kicked for it. Basically, like he said, like, you know, it's just part of being a thief, but like if you're caught, then you lose, obviously.
Do you think he'd stop playing the game with me if I got caught?
I mean, he did say it's like we obviously cheat all the time, but like mages cheat worse, basically. It's worse to cheat using magic in what seems to
I'm
be his
gonna
opinion.
sleight of hand my middle roll.
Okay. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
I'm gonna do it awfully.
As you kind of like try to reach for your beer and at the same time try to like grab a spare card from the deck, his hand reaches over and grabs your hand, puts it back in front of you and says, nah.
Guess I've got some more to learn. Another?
Sure, why not?
It's like Thor.
Let's up the ante on this one though, huh? 50 gold? How about it? Give you a chance to win back some and more.
If we're upping antes, what if you do me one better and we'll add a little information into the mix?
Sure, why not?
Then it's a deal, and I'll actually reach my hand out to shake his.
All right. He reaches for your hand and shakes back.
And I do like a firm shake.
All right, so go ahead and make your rolls.
1 second, I gotta do my math on this. Cool. Oh,
Beth.
what? 1d6, 1d10,
Oof.
1d20. Not this time.
Oh.
I'm sleight of handing that last roll.
Okay.
No, you're not.
Again, like you try to do the same thing, and he just like instead of even grabbing your hand, he just reaches over and flicks you in the side of the head.
Ow.
Flicks the horn.
Ugh.
No, that would hurt him more than her.
True.
Oh, twinsies.
Uh,
Oh, almost twinsies. He's gonna beat me no matter what, though.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah. He got a 6 and you got a 3.
Well,
Can't win everything.
such is life, I guess. And I hand him the
The 50.
Gold. Yeah.
All right.
And then I check in his pockets. I check in his sleeves. He's still cheating. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
All right. This round, you can win everything back. Right. If you lose, though, you do a job for me for free.
This is exactly what Remy warned me about. That's in Nori's head. She's just like, oh. Well, what kind of job?
Call it extermination.
Oh, we were all gonna do. Anyways, we're gonna do this anyways. Okay, cool. In my head. Oh, but I love gambling. So much fun. I can't lose 3 times in a row, right? Like, come on.
You mean 4 times in a row?
Yeah, I gotta get some luck. You know what?
He hasn't even had to cheat yet. That's the best part.
I'm gonna swig down my ale. Finish up my ale and go, you're on.
Make me a con save.
You're on.
You're on.
This is going to be where the good roll comes in. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
It's a middle of the road roll. 10's average.
Yeah, but the DC is not 10.
And before he makes Nori go like kill a person.
Yeah, extermination doesn't mean
Let's just
pests.
call it pest control.
Nori, as you down your beer, things feel just a little bit more fluid all of a sudden. You kind of feel the need to kind of just move back and forth occasionally.
You're on.
You're on. All right, make your rolls.
R1d6. R1d10. Why do the dice fucking hate me?
Oh my god.
Yes, they do.
Roll low. Yes. Keep rolling low. Get shitty rolls. Yes.
Oh,
Roll one more
no.
time because you're shit.
Oh, no!
Let's go!
Sleight of hand for the D20.
All right. You have disadvantage.
It doesn't matter
It's a
anyway.
9. It's
Doesn't
the
matter.
highest I've rolled. Am I endearing to him yet? He's won so much from me.
He flicks you again as you try to grab the card and just
and Nori like
snort.
laughs. Nori laughs really hard next to him. It's just like she does that thing when you're trying to get like closer to someone where she like in the sense of like she playfully kind of like taps his shoulder.
I love how I got beat up and kicked out for failing one.
You failed something a little bit fucking worse there.
Well, you know.
I'm playing on their terms.
Like, yeah, you tried to use magic to cheat, which is like if you didn't see before, clearly frowned upon.
Yeah.
All right, one more time, and if you win, you'll get everything we played against, and I'll go on a date with you.
I appreciate the thought, but I'm not much interested. I've got my own mistress already.
What about a really beautiful redheaded lady?
This 4-foot tall dwarf and a
She's
7.5-foot
very strong.
Goliath.
She's very strong. She single-handedly took down a 15-foot shark on her own.
Like I said,
Can promise you an adventure of a lifetime.
like I said, I've got my own mistress already. My hands are pretty full as it is. Plus, now I have you running my job for free, which works out for me. I don't know. You got more gold to lose? Because I'm willing to take it.
Nori versus
Nah.
gotcha mechanics.
I don't know. Only $100 more. I'll get that 5-star pull.
It's the D&D gotcha.
Statistically, the odds will eventually be in my favor. One more time for fun's sake. I'll drop in another 5 gold.
All right. Tell you what. I'll I'll put back on the table the money that you've bet so far. But
You want me to give you a kiss? Is that what it is?
no, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Let me think. Well, what do you have of value? Anything that's not quite money?
I've got this raw iron ore, and I just pull raw iron ore out of my pocket and put it on the table.
That's okay.
I got this wool, and I pull wool out of my pocket.
He doesn't want her
God.
love. He doesn't want her iron.
I've got this, and I'll pull out the adamantite combat knife and
You see
drop
his-
it on the table.
His eyes definitely go wide at that. As he looks at it, looks back at you, and you can see everybody else at the table has kind of gone quiet as they see that on the table. And you just want your gold back for that?
No, I want my gold back. I want my secrets, and I also don't want to do your job for free. But we could maybe come to an agreement about doing your job for a lower rate. I'm very strong.
Just can't wait to see.
He looks at the knife again and then back at you. All right, I could go for that.
It's not like I fucking use this knife anyways. I don't say that out loud though. That's inside Nori's head. Internal
All right.
monologue. Let's go. I'm a gambling addict now.
Yay.
1d6. 1d10 is the next one, please.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
1d20,
Shit.
please, game. That's not bad. That's not bad. You need to just roll shit, please. Okay, good. That cancels out. Please don't roll good. Okay, that's not too bad.
That
Please
is
roll
bad.
low.
That is bad.
That is
It cancels
bad.
out.
It
No!
cancels you.
Roll low.
Is he
So
gonna
he
cheat?
got a 10. You got a 17.
And I know that he told me that he's cheating, so I feel like if he's doing any sleight of check, I can use sleight of hand. I can use my perception because I know this bitch don't want to lose. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
watching.
it's against your passive
What? No, why would it be passive?
or active, I guess.
Perception, my really bad perception. I won't even get it even if I roll a nat 20.
God damn.
So,
You might still lose.
what are you re-rolling? Really? Really, Daya? Is it really? Really? Really?
God.
Really? Really?
We both
Really?
got fucked.
Really? Really?
Gambling,
Yep.
man.
Really?
That's how gambling works.
As he
This is a good gambling PSA. Oh my god, I have lost so much money.
You realize that knife was worth like 1,000 gold.
That's what I'm saying. I have lost so much money. This guy better give me something for free after we finish his fucking job because I've been very helpful.
as he puts down his cards. You don't notice it, but he flips the last card over to reveal 19 instead of the 4 that was actually underneath it.
And someone, a kind benefactor in the audience notices and rats him.
You see, as he goes and reaches for the knife, he says, "Pleasure doing business." Kimeth's hand comes down on top of the knife and says, "Why don't you flip that card over at the end there?"
My boy, my Shanove boy.
And Roger kind of looks up at him, and you see this like steely look come over his eyes, and he doesn't move, but one of the other people at the table goes over and just flips the card over and reveals the 4 instead.
Roderick.
I told you we all cheat. And he takes his hand away from the knife. All right, you caught me.
My boy.
Entirely fair.
It's cool. You caught me like 4 times.
That's true. All's fair between thieves, right? And he slides the knife back over to you and then takes the gold that he'd won off you as well and slides it back over.
Can I count the gold? Is it actually all of the gold that he...
It's all there. Yeah.
Okay, how much did I give him?
You lost 50 twice, I believe, and then
Wasn't there
5 3
100
times.
or something? Was there not 100?
No.
Was it 50 twice? It was 50 twice and then
It
what?
was 50
5
twice
three
and
times?
5 3 times.
Okay. 50 twice. Then 5 3 times, which is
So,
15. 70.
Luca,
Okay, cool.
did you win none of them?
I
Apart from the
lost all
last
of
one.
She lost every single game.
lost
Oh my
all of them.
god.
I lost all of them. But then Kimmeth, my homeboy over here, after he tended to your...
So technically, you won the last one. He just cheated.
Yeah, so I did win the last one. And I'll just like look at him initially with a very serious and stern, like offended look, and then I'm just gonna bust out laughing and like flop down next to him and just be like, "Oh, you got me good. That was a good
I
one.
did, I
That's
did.
so funny. I like
Well
the
played.
cut of your jib."
Well, I couldn't very well let you get away with. I really wanted that knife. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, and I'll just stab
a
it into
nice-
the table.
It goes right through like butter and leaves just a
Yeah.
big knife-sized hole from
Just
like the top of the table down. And
Still
you
laughing.
could see all the dwarfs at the table staring at it, having gone through the table, and they're just like,
I also want to like take wherever my coin purse is right now, and I want to like hide it in the hidiest of areas on my body. I want it to be within like 3. I'm going to take it, and
Your
I'm
prison
going to put
pocket.
it. I hate you. I'm going to take it and put it within 4 other bags, and the way that I'm going to put it with the 4 other bags is it's going to be like bag 1, and then the bag with the gold is going to be upside down in that bag, so you can't just open them all at once, and it's going to go like that, like Russian nesting dolls. And
Okay.
I'm going to, I don't know, put it somewhere that I would be very aware if somebody tries to steal it, because I'm just now realizing that we are in a bar for thieves
Mhm.
with a lot of money and other stuff.
Fair enough.
I want to check my person. Have I lost anything during the time that I've been here?
Doesn't look like it.
Cool. I'm going to keep laughing at the table and then pull the knife out of it.
Okay. There's a large knife-sized slit now in the table where you stabbed. And Roger kind of watches you pull that out and he says, "I guess I owe you some information."
Only if you want to. No, I'm kidding. You do.
All right. What kind of information?
Is everyone still like hanging around us? Maybe we should go somewhere. Let's go get another drink, and you and I have a little chit chat. On me. Drinks on me.
Can't say no to that.
Yeet,
he
let's
gets up
go, son.
and Kimmeth sits down where he was sitting and starts dealing out cards. As Roderick follows you over to the bar, the bartender still eyes very much on you, pours 2 ales for you, and kind of holds out his hand for payment.
Let's get 4 ales. I don't remember how much they are.
That would be 1 gold, 2 silver.
Cool. Let's go. And then when we sit down at the table, we bought 4. I'm only going to keep 1. I'm going to give the other one that I had in my hand to him. So he gets 3 ales.
Oh my god, okay. He looks at the 3 steins in front of him and is like, all right, I guess.
Isn't this stuff good?
It's pretty good, yeah. I guess I'm waking up way late tomorrow. All right. So what do you want?
Sounded like you had somebody that would hold your hair back though if you needed it. So I think you'll be okay.
I'll be fine. I haven't lost my drink in a very long time. We're dwarves.
Want to make a bet? And then she just starts laughing again. As it does.
No, I think you fleeced me already.
Cool. So me and some of my friends are looking for possible information regarding maybe some off-limits areas. Probably not the sewers. We're not talking about the sewers. People have been telling us about the sewers, not super interested in that. We're thinking more like, like, oh, there's this place that nobody goes, and there's some like crazy shit going on over there, and maybe there's like some like maybe it's being guarded by things, or maybe something's kind of weird about it.
I don't personally know much about the areas themselves, but if you're interested in them, I might be able to arrange a way for you to get in, depending on the area. I've got a few connections with some of the stone mages, and I can arrange for parties to enter off-limit areas for a brief amount of time and see what they
Cool.
can
What's
dig
the
up.
what price are we looking at for that? What are we thinking about?
Normally, I go for a cut. Whatever you fence, 15%.
Okay. A lot of times we like to keep stuff because it's cool. So I guess it depends on what's sellable, right? So like maybe if we think about flat fee instead, just in case, because I like you. I think you're a pretty cool guy. We had a really great time playing those card games and stuff. Like at the end where you almost like cheated me out of all of that money and stuff, but then you didn't, which was pretty funny. But so maybe like we just settle on like a flat amount, because like I would hate to cheat you, so to speak.
Let's say moderate profit margins. You'd be walking out of there with 1,000 gold. So flat fee, 150 gold. If you're going in there for stuff that you're not necessarily looking like you're gonna sell.
$150 gold, and maybe we chat again at some point. Maybe I come back with some questions at a different time.
I mean, if you want to organize another run, my fee will remain the same in the future. You
Sounded
just
like
gotta
a
gotta come
mobster
to
then.
me. A little bit.
I'm more trying to negotiate that I can like come back and talk to him and possibly ask for more information. Is what I'm meaning.
Sure. We can hash out more details later, if need be.
Cool. Okay. Well, I will keep that in mind. I think that sounds like an agreeable number. We got to figure out where the heck we need to get into. Well, need is a strong word. Where the heck we want to get into for fun, because we're adventurers and we do that kind of stuff.
Adventurers, sure.
Yep, really strong adventures. Did I tell you about the time? So we were coming back up here from the courts something, and we were on a boat, and there were those shark people, and those were not fun. There was a 15-foot shark, and we exploded it out of the water. So super adventures.
He looks down at his beer for a moment and then back up at you. I think I may be drinking a bit too quickly. Did you say you blew a shark out of the water?
Yeah, like super strong.
The hell is a shark person? What?
You'd never want to meet him.
Probably not.
Yeah. I go into like a really detailed description of shark people, and I have like my hands do it like, and then they look like this, and they got like the little, and I just sit there and I like explain it to him.
Okay, well,
and we can basically close scene. I feel like at this point I have gotten what I need from this, and the rest of my time is going to be shooting the shit with this man who almost robbed me of house and home because I'm stupid.
Zalia, for his part, is brought back to the Mercenaries Guild by Kimeth while you're doing this, and put to bed.
Put to bed. We put that boy to bed.
Yeah, Kimeth kind of like lifts him and tosses him into his bunk. After doing some rudimentary healing on him, just to make sure that he's not bleeding out or anything. He's gonna have one hell of a sore chest and stomach though in the morning.
Hell yeah, Kimeth. What a father figure. I'm gonna start calling him Daddy Kimeth.
Oh, God, please don't.
Papa Kimeth?
Papa Kimeth?
Oh, God.
Pappy Kimeth?
No, never that word. Oh,
Peepaw,
God.
Peepaw Kimeth?
Kimeth Pappy Stride? But Remy and Keothi, we will scene switch to you, who are now at the coal mine, which suits its name. As you enter, the first thing that you smell is sweat, mixed with a little bit of vomit and stale ale. The dwarfs within are pretty much covered in rock dust, little smudges of coal, sweat, of course. Obviously, their clothes look all very sweat stained and worked in, and they just all look like salt of the earth people is probably the best way to describe it. They work with their hands constantly. They're big and burly and rude for the most part, all kind of yelling and shouting over one another and just having a grand old time, as some of them are singing
Sea
poorly.
shanties.
No, not sea shanties, but they're singing songs. Most of them are singing poorly. You could see one bard in the middle of this mess doing his best to keep tempo with the dwarves who are completely all over the place. But they're all just kind of mostly having a good time, apart from a couple of them who seem to be in yelling matches with one another, but it doesn't appear to be over anything important. It's pretty much just drunken tomfoolery.
While we were on the way there,
Mhm.
I would have a quiet conversation with Keothi, just kind of because I think we kind of sort of explain that we're like looking for ruins, but I would tell her that what we're looking for in terms of information is that we are specifically looking for one of these ruins, and so we've been asked by our guild leader to find specifically folk tales, things like caves off limits, things like mention of guardians, etc., to get clues about the ruins. That way she would know what question, like how she wants to go about trying to get that information, because I don't know if like we ever specifically told her like what we're actually looking for in terms of like ruins. So just so you know, this is
I
what
think
we're looking for. And I give her kind of the basic rundown of what Senezal's Archivist actually is. Like,
Mhm.
we're
I
going
think
to
you
these
guys
ruins, we're
explained to
getting
her that
stuff.
you were looking into fallen ruins, and you did so in front of the other mercenary guild proprietor back in Quartz Cove, who kind of gave you all like a dirty look for
Look, that's what
yeah.
I learned. Remy learned, so he's saying it quietly as they take a walk to the bar.
Okay. Yeah, so you explain that further. And Keothi, you don't know a whole lot about the Fallen. What you do know is that they are the people who came kind of before this age. So the remnants of the old civilizations that were once part of Aberranth. To the Goliaths, they don't mean a whole lot. They're kind of just like a historic people of the world. You do know that it's typically frowned upon to do anything revolving around the Fallen. Like they're kind of like an off limits topic, because most of their ruins tend to be either dangerous or well, really just dangerous, mostly useless to most people who can't figure out how to get any of their old technology to work, but oftentimes lead to death in delving with them or their artifacts.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a taboo topic most of the time.
Okay. So after Remy's explained it all, so I'm asking about like folklore, like old tales and stories.
Yeah, so like what I'm gonna do, right? Because like, I look kind of like a bard, right? Like a story.
Yeah.
I don't look like I'm from around here, so I think my thing is I'm going in. I'm looking for stories. I can play a little bit of music. I can like try and perform for some info, but I think my story is I'm just out looking for folk tales and looking for stories so that I could tell them to the realm and beyond.
So
'Cause-
should I be like your bodyguard or something, or your translator?
You could be whatever you want. I mean, you're definitely gonna have to translate for me. I don't speak a liquid Dwarvish except for Ola.
I just thought we were sort of making a plan here, but that's fine. I can do
Well,
that.
we
I'll
can.
translate.
Okay.
Will I be able to even fit in there?
Yeah, you'd fit in there. Like I said, the dwarves are kind of big about having like even in a rundown dive like this, like the building's still pretty tall.
Okay.
And you can see it's multi-story too. So like you've got like the first floor, which is where most people are hanging out, and then the second floor is like just more of like drinking space, and third floor you presume is probably sort of an inn of some sort, probably where people who have passed out are kind of like thrown.
Just eat it upstairs.
so that they're not literally underfoot. There's like a few like straw beds sort of just all up on the third floor.
Okay.
And presumably there's probably also a basement where more casks are kept, because at the rate that these are flowing, they're going to be empty halfway through the night.
Lots of drunk dwarves.
Lots of drunk dwarves, and they truly enjoy their ale at a steady pace.
Well, I open the door and very brightly exclaim, Ola! I don't know if anybody cares, but that's what I do.
Over the raucous riot within, it's hard to hear your exclamation over everybody else's, but a few of the dwarves closer to the entrance kind of like raise pints to you and say, "Hola!"
Ooh.
I dip through and do the same thing straight behind. Hola!
"Hola!" And they kind of just like immediately go back to their drinking and carousing, and much like the Thieves Guild, there's a lot of like activities going on. So there's a lot of people like playing cards or throwing darts. In this case, only darts, no throwing knives. A few dwarves are arm wrestling.
I like nudge.
Keothi.
Keothi.
Yeah, they're just having a grand old time.
I'm gonna go up to the bar. Hola, I would like a pint of your finest for me and my friend.
And I smile and go, hola.
The woman behind the bar sort of like cups a hand to her ear and says, "What? You'll have to speak up. It's very loud in here."
I would like a pint, 2 pints of your finest ale, please, and thank you.
2 pints, good quality. Turns around, kind of walks her way down the line of casks and pours 2 pints, brings them back over to you. 5 silver.
Okay.
Takes your money and
I hand one over. Cute.
All right.
And then loudly I will explain to her that I'm an explorer and I'm collecting folk tales, and what are the best folk tales around here? You know, this is a big old cave town. Any like crazy like forbidden caves, scary monsters, any of that stuff?
Oh, if you want to talk about adventures down in the caves, you want to talk to some of the stone mages or some of the walling committees within the mining companies. They get to deal with all the extravagant stuff that they find down in the caves.
Well, I heard that some of their workers come here.
Oh, for sure. They're most likely amongst this rowdy rabble.
Any of them that you can identify right away?
She tries to look up over the crowds and just not off the top of my head. It's a little hard to see. all of them in here.
We can give you a lift. Quixote's really strong.
That's okay.
I just sort of off my hand.
You, sorry, you lift with one hand?
Yeah.
Okay. She doesn't really try to keep you from doing so. She's just sort of lifted up, surprised at first. Edric over there. I know he's a stone mage. And she points over at a dwarf who's kind of mostly keeping to himself and chatting definitely more quietly with a few dwarves around him at a table. And Kevin over there is part of the actual committee. He's the sort of the planning committee for how to deal with threats in the caves. And it's another kind of redheaded dwarf who looks like he's having a bit of a verbal altercation with another dwarf currently.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time, Mrs.
Sam.
Saint. That's a lovely name.
Just put her down and I'm like, sorry.
It worked.
I will tip her a silver.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you. And so Kevin's getting into an argument. And you said
Yes.
Edric was just kind of sitting.
Yeah, he's kind of sitting and having a more calm chat with some of the dwarves around him.
Okay. So then I tippy toe to try and get up to Quixote. Which one do you think we should talk to first? Kevin seems kind of busy.
Yeah, I was going to say, Edric looks like he's probably more down to have a conversation right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually. Hey, Sam!
Yeah.
One more, please. Pint.
Sure. Pours another pint. Passes it over to you. 2 silver, 5 copper.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. And I will grab it and I will, like, happily kind of skip on over to Edric's table and I will hold out the pint and say, hola.
Okay.
And I walk behind, trying to keep up with her because she's just like, trying to keep up with him because he's just going. He's sprightly. He's going.
As you're walking over, you can hear little tidbits of the conversation that they're having. As Edric continues to speak. And I'm telling you that if we continue to wall off areas without dealing with the problems within them, one of these days, one of these monsters that we wall off is just going to break right through the wall and ravage the rest of the mines without us being able to do anything about it. And as you walk up with the pint and say, well, he says, hello, what can I do you for?
Hi, my name is Remy. I'm a traveling storyteller, and this is my friend Quixote. I was pointed your way. I've heard tale that you are a stone mage. Mr. Edric, was it?
Edric, yes. Well, welcome to Fral Tel Nog. I'm not sure what kind of excitement we can offer you here, unfortunately.
Oh, there's so many things that are exciting here, as you can tell. Not from the area. Everything here's pretty new.
Same for me.
Speaking of new, we're looking for stories, and you were mentioning monsters. Care to tell me more?
Sure, why not? Have a seat.
I hand over the pint, and I sit. And I scoot over and make a space for Quixote as well. If she can fit.
Well, yeah, she can fit. It's she can sit, but it's kind of like, you know, when you sit down on like a kid's chair and you like your knees come up a bit higher than they really should. So she can like easily rest her elbows on the tops of her knees, and she can't get them underneath the table. And you see Edric kind of notices this, and the tables are all like nothing's wood here. Everything is made out of stone or metal, and the tables themselves are made out of stone. And he does like a quick hand wave and shifts his arm up, and you see the table just lunge upwards a little bit, giving her enough space to actually fit her knees beneath it.
That was smooth, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Can't have visitors be uncomfortable, right?
I mean, this is the first time I've been able to sit down and stretch out the legs for a while.
Our architecture is not typically made for people as tall as you. Apologies.
It's fine. I expected it, but I'm still trying to find it hard not to hit my head on top of the doors.
Yeah, well, that's not likely to change anytime soon. It's part of the architecture, really. If you're only making doorways for dwarves, then it's just how it's going to be.
Yeah,
Just
I guess so.
You mentioned, this is out of character. You mentioned that there's definitely people, like most people worship Kargon here, right? And there's a Chandi.
The Chandi, Kargon, and Andrash seem to be the three big ones because that's what's displayed on the
I
cathedral.
want to sit in a way so, like, in my actual character's design, my scarf has the Kargon symbol on it, and
Okay.
then I also have like the symbol of Chandi on my person, and I'm gonna kind of sit in a way where like the scarf is kind of a little bit up on the table, so you can kind of see the symbol, and I'm sitting
Okay.
kind of like this, so like the Chandis. I'm gonna.
Everything's very visible.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't see too many bards who are worshippers of Kargon or of Chandi, let alone Kargon.
Well, I mean, technically, I'm not really a bard. I'm more of like the armored sort. But I do play music and I do love to tell stories. So in that sense, it's an honor to be called a bard.
I mean, isn't that really what makes a bard in the end? Is a love for sharing culture?
I agree.
I'm not quite that kind of mage myself. I'm not so much the kind with the certain love of life, I guess, that a bard or perhaps even some clerics might have. I'm more
You
the
seem to be
academic type.
concerned. Yeah, you seem to be concerned enough for your people, though, which works out for me.
Well, it's important. It's my job.
You deal with a lot of monsters?
Not directly. Mostly just making sure that they're put away. I'm not much of a fighter, you see.
Mm.
I'd focus mostly on the shaping of the tunnels beneath the city and making sure that they're well fortified so that there's less cave-ins, less well, the structural integrity of the city as a whole is maintained despite the hive work of tunnels beneath us.
I see. Is there any monsters in particular that you are kind of afraid of breaking out?
I mean, sometimes we burrow into territory of larger creatures. I don't know if you've heard of what a bullet is, but we've recently come across a few of them that we've had to redirect.
Bullet? I have not heard of such a thing.
Think if you mixed an armored warhorse with a bull.
Wow.
It's and they dig underground, no less. They're not exactly easy to deal with.
That's kind of crazy. Keothi, have you ever heard of a bullet?
I'm not sure. Would I have?
Likely not. Not in the mountains. They're more underground or flat terrain creatures.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before. What does it look like?
He said it's like an armored warhorse mixed with a bull. You know, I've dealt with the Ramirez, but doesn't seem too
Ramirazes. We don't have to deal with those in here. It's a bit too warm for them, but outside I hear they're a bit of an issue.
Oh, it was awful. Took care of it, but man, I wouldn't want to go up with too many more of them.
You took care of a Ramirez on your own. Just your party.
No, I make friends everywhere I go. Some of them are more of the adventuring sort, some are warriors, you know. You make
It's
a lot
important.
of friends when you're going looking for stories, right?
Of course, of course. I mean, the creatures tend to be kind of an easier thing to deal with. For the most part, most of them aren't too smart, so redirecting them to go somewhere else and then walling off where they came from tends to be pretty straightforward, as long as we don't attract their attention again. It's more when we come across old ruins or tombs or even fallen occasionally.
Fallen. Now, that
It's
sounds interesting. What's that all about?
sure you've heard of the fallen before.
Yeah, but I don't really know too much about them. They don't talk too much about them under the sea, you know?
We don't talk too much about them here.
Nobody really
They're
cares about them where I'm from.
better for it. They're dangerous. Better not involving yourself with. The ruins of their older civilizations are... Well, some people have interest in them, but they really shouldn't. They risk everybody by tooling around with things they don't understand. It's technology beyond our comprehension that could potentially harm thousands.
And there's some here? That sounds a little scary.
There's some underground. Most of the dwarves here probably wouldn't tell you this, but Fraltalnog is not built by us. They're built by the Fallen. This initial cavern, that is. And possibly some of the buildings. We don't have the history of all of it, but as time has progressed, we're talking tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years. Some of these fallen structures have been moved underground, if not built there initially. And so as we dig, we come across them occasionally.
And you've been able to see that and like wall it off?
I've seen a few. We try to wall it off as quickly as possible to prevent anybody intentionally making their way in. We just don't want people messing about with that sort of thing. And more often than not, the Fallen built things to last in a lot of circumstances. Their old defenses sometimes still work. So it's important not just for us to keep those who are intending to go in out, but also keep the poor miners who might get lost in the tunnels from accidentally wandering into such areas.
Don't you think you would get, I don't know, like the Adventurers Guild or somebody like that to take care of a threat like that?
It's not a threat. Apart from clearing out the structure itself, there's not much to do there. We'd rather just go around it. We don't want to deal with the fallen ruins.
I see.
There are occasionally things within the ruins that could possibly have the Adventurers Guild deal with, but why would we pay them when we can just wall it off for the same result? The things within don't want to come out and deal with us. They're just defending whatever the heck it is that they were meant to defend. Or sometimes maybe they might have moved in and that's their new home, and if we leave them alone, they'll leave us alone.
I mean, that's really fair. But you don't think that technology could be used to like help the people of the city?
Kind of like looks around to see if anybody else is listening to this conversation. I just don't think it's safe to deal with their technology. I've seen firsthand people get overly ambitious and get melted in some cases, or torn limb from limb in others.
Here?
Underground, yeah.
Melted.
Well, there was one particular time. Don't go telling anyone this.
Yeah.
We went underground and there was a... How best to describe it? It's like a man made of metal. Metal and wood of sorts. But it wasn't like any other machina I've seen. I've been to Baskman. I've seen some of the golems that they've put together. This was different. It moved as if it was made of skin like any other being. And it simply it melted one of my companions. It was able to shoot acid out of one of its arms, and just most of us escaped with mild burns, but he was gone in an instant, and so we booked it the hell out of there
Oh my
and quickly sealed that up behind us.
shot acid. I mean, man, I've heard about those boss Mongols, but this sounds like nothing like that. That's great.
I'm not even acid proof.
I don't know about acid proof. If we wanted to, I suppose we could probably get commissioned some acid resistance potions at the alchemists, but frankly, it was just easier to wall it off and tell people to stay away from that area.
Now, look, I don't know if I'm interested in that dangerous, but all those other sealed off areas and tombs and stuff, that sounds cool too. But like, where'd that acid spitting guy come from? Because I don't want to go there. I want to avoid that area of the underground.
It was relatively early on in my career, so
Wink, wink.
what we call we typically divide the shaft into floors, and so floor 4, about 5 kilometers northeast into the tunnels. Every time that there is a walled off area, we sign it and assign it a number. I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but the archives in the cargo and library would contain an accounting of what happened, as well as the number behind it. Now, that information is restricted to members of the company. So, and I can't, in good conscience, let you simply peruse them, as it's restricted for a reason.
Oh, of
You
course not.
understand?
I
We've
wouldn't
got to
want to
prevent
get
people
anybody
from
in trouble.
Well, we have to prevent people from going grave robbing and
Yeah, and like that sounds really
dungeon
dangerous.
delving, right?
Yeah.
Of course, very. I mean, like I said, my compatriot was not a pushover. As I said, this was early on in my career, and while I'm a well-accomplished wizard now, at the time I was not quite as much, but he was, to an extent, a mentor of mine. So he was much stronger than I am now, and it was almost instantaneous.
Well, I'm sorry to
So
hear that, but it
obviously-
seems like at least you were able to wall it off and
Yes,
make
well,
sure no
and
one else goes through that.
whatever creature or guardian that was didn't seem much interested in keeping us from being alive, as long as we didn't try to intrude upon whatever it was that it was guarding.
Hmm. And anything else down there? And I'm gonna sort of go off into just trying to get other, ruin stories. And I heard about skeletons and chatting them
Well,
up a little bit.
Skeletons one was rather recent. That one could have been easily avoided. We unearthed a rather obvious looking door to something. These large, the 20-foot tall stone doors with various writings on them in a language none of us were able to decipher. And so we were going to wall that off and simply mark it off as undesirable zone. But some enterprising gentleman decided to break in and try to see what was within. Now, they didn't live for us to punish them. However, they did leave the doors open, and denizens from within this now obvious tomb began to spill out in the form of, yes, skeletons for the most part.
Crazy.
Possibly as well, some the zombified remains of those who tried to intrude in there. So we closed that off rather quickly after
Sounds like a
a
big
brief
yikes
scuffle.
to me.
Yeah, absolutely not interested in continuing to
Didn't
deal
even
with
get
that.
what they were enterprising for. Tell you, man, people just stroll up into those places and they don't think twice. And
Wow, you won't believe we had one group who thought that they were hot shit. We accidentally came upon a nest of purple worm eggs. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of what a purple worm is, but they are not to be trifled
No, but I know a
with.
song about him. Purple worm, purple worm.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
No,
I don't know that one.
never heard that one.
No.
One of
Heard
his
it down in
best songs.
Kelowna.
One of his best songs.
Well, I've not heard of the song, but the creature itself is
Worm
30.
as in like a squiggly, or worm as a
Oh yeah, like an earthworm. No, yeah, WORM. But yeah, we're talking, at when they're adults, they're about 30 to 40 feet long. They're big, and very territorial. And so, if you try to steal their eggs, you're not only a dumbass, you're a dead dumbass. And so we had some people try to take the eggs and attempt to sell them off, and because they brought the eggs up to the surface, we had to do some remodeling once we were done dealing with that. So yeah, occasionally we don't wall things off in time.
I see. Well, if I'm just, going down there looking for stories, I'm not going to go to the skeletons. And if I see anything that's purple and is like any kind of worm egg, I'm not taking it back up to the surface. I like my life.
Yeah, it's generally a good good way to go about it.
And this, a couple other people mentioned that library of Cargones,
mhm.
folk tales, stuff like that over there. Or is that more of
Mm.
like I heard there's like the Andrash guys. They might have some stories.
Yeah, well, the clerics of Andrash are definitely more the storytellers, I suppose. Cargone, as you know, is a bit more functional knowledge. We do have tales, but they generally serve a purpose. As I said, in our case, we keep our archives up there, and those could function as tales of sorts, but they're just not told as such.
Yeah, it's crazy because, back down in Coral Keep, Cargone's a big guy, right? But like the stories that we have down there, totally different.
Well, I
That
hear the
is my
Tritons have a different spin on it. That Cargone is more about heroism for you, which is fair. That is one of his domains. So the heroism and acts of bravery,
Mhm.
tales of victory, but not in a domineering sense, much as some of the darker gods
Oh no, of course not.
adhere to.
It's more
But
things like, saving people from orc ships, or, oh no, Sahuagin trying to take over, and then like we deal with that. It's
yes, well, for us, it's more of a exploration of knowledge and learning. Personally, most of my magic tutelage has been under mentors of Cargone. It's functional. It's not extravagant. I don't sit around making displays of luminescence. I, as you see, lift tables, create walls, shape stone.
seems like you're very good at it. You're still kicking.
My job isn't dangerous in the sense that I'm in combat on a regular basis, but I do risk occasional cave-ins and such. So yes, it can be.
It sounds like you go around all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, typically.
In my view, it would take a pretty good wizard to do all that. Not to, butter you up, but. And I take a swig.
I suppose one could call me a pretty good wizard, yes. I would say I'm relatively accomplished at my craft. You can see this, like, he's been trying his best to kind of be a bit more neutral about it, but now he's got like a bit of a grin on his face that he can't quite keep off. The narcissist in him is definitely enjoying it.
If you don't mind me asking, feel free to say no, by the way. I know you lost a friend, but were there any others with you during that time?
Yeah, well, there were a few more of my the apprentices that were working alongside me at the time. Yes, as well as the headmaster of the stonemasons guild, stone mages guild.
Do you think they would want to share their stories?
They might, though. Understand that it's. I've spoken a lot already, and really shouldn't. There are people who would not even figuratively, but actually kill for this sort of information, because there can be lots of hidden treasures within the caves that we've walled off.
Well, I'm after information, not so much the treasure stuff.
No, but I understand that the information is quite valuable, and supposed to be a well-kept secret.
I understand. Well, you see, the thing about us storytellers, right? There's the stories we tell other people, but then there's also the stories that we just like for ourselves, you know? There's something fun in knowing stuff that other people don't. We too pick and choose what we share.
If you wanted to know more, I would recommend the archives. If you can find a way to get access to them.
You said it was restricted. It's a bummer.
It is, but it can be accessed if you have a job that pertains to them.
Hey, Remy. Didn't Sam say that Kevin does planning for the caves? Isn't he on the planning committee?
He's on the planning committee for how to deal with the things that need to be closed off, basically.
So he'd know.
See,
He'd be able to get in the archives.
Most likely, yes.
You should go and talk to Kevin after this.
yep. And you said jobs? Do you think that's something that they give you just work at the library, or just...
No, I mean a job to deal with some of the cave denizens. They're typically handed through the mercenary guild.
Yeah. Lucky for me, I've got friends in those places.
Yeah, well.
Not that I would share anything that I learned, but like that stuff with them. This sounds like more me story. Yeah, maybe
And
I can
before
write
the
a
next-
song about some skeletons.
And before the next episode is the gang becomes librarians.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
Skeletons. Well, I leave the finer points of it up to you, but I think that's all I can really reasonably say and still adhere to my code.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I don't want to
I
get
do
you in any
appreciate
trouble.
the beer, though.
You've given me quite a few leads to make up some juicy stories for myself and for
Yeah, well,
others.
good luck with
I'll
them.
leave you with your friends for your time, and I'll slide over 5 gold.
Oh,
just-
much obliged.
Enjoy the rest of that ale. And
You too. Or, well, you have a good rest of your night, Remy.
You too, Mr. Edric. I'll be off learning more stories. And I'll nudge Keothi, and we will leave that table.
Okay.
And I know it's 5, so...
Yeah, so we're gonna be wrapping up basically now, I think, because we only have 3 minutes left, and if we jump into another RP, we're gonna like cut it off
Yeah.
like just
yeah,
as it
that's
starts.
why I'm saying that now.
I love Corb's little smirk when she finds out information.
She's
I
like,
love that. It's so sweet.
like-
Remy is like freaking out on the inside. He's not the charismatic person.
It was
But
great.
he-
which is
been
funny as a
listening.
paladin, but
That was
I
great.
love it.
I know
So good.
it's great.
I've been listening. They like to be buttered up. They worship these gods.
I do like how this party effectively has like 3 faces somehow. We've got Xylia, the unofficial face. We've got Nori, the one who likes to pretend that she's like the leader of the party,
The super surprising
who
face.
who is also incredibly good at pretending that she's the leader of the party. And then we've got Remy, who's like kind of the actual leader, but also just can't keep anybody in line anyways.
He's just vibing.
He's just vibing. He's trying his best to dad his way through all of this.
Oh god.
Oh, it's good. I'm enjoying it.
Wait, what did you call
The
Xylem?
chaos and the confusion.
The unofficial face? What does that mean?
It means you try your best to be the leader of the party, but it doesn't work out in your favor most of the time.
And when you try your best, but you don't succeed. Oh.
Mr. putting as much charisma as he can into his character and then trying his best to just be as charismatic as possible.
Yeah, and it never fucking works. I'm just gonna go and try punch someone
You end up
next
getting
time.
the shit beat out of you by
Yo,
a bunch of
next,
dwarves.
next time I'm in that situation, I'm just gonna get in the ring to start with. Fuck trying to talk my way out of things.
You're
I'm just
like,
gonna go
let
in
me just
arms
climb in
swinging.
here right now and get
Bet
it
on
going.
me, bitch.
I may as well fight my way because my mouth ain't helping.
And then Nori's over here like, we can work with this. Look at this asshole over here. Like,
It's fine. It was all part of the plan. I'm just a distraction.
yeah, you're the distraction, so I could go in and make some friends.
Can I say as a quick thing?
Yeah.
Because I know it'll take like 2 seconds. I think. 'Cause I wanted to ask earlier, but I totally forgot. Am I awake now? Technically in bed? Like, did I wake up? From
Yeah,
my
you would have woken
knockoutness?
up like a couple hours later.
Ooh,
Can I
I'm
check
excited
the
for the
book?
out. I was just I'm excited for the outcome of this.
I really want to check the book.
Oh, the book.
Yeah.
Xylia gets the shit beat out of him. That's what the next passage in your books. It says, don't make any unwanted bets. It filled
No.
itself in this morning. You
If you
didn't
have a
check it, and it
gambling
says,
if you or a loved one have a gambling problem, please call this number.
yeah.
It says, following the steps of his father, the Dark Mage makes a pact with Orgel.
Fam! What?
Oh
That's deep.
shit. Okay.
Excuse the fuck out of
I excuse the fuck out of me too. What the fuck?
Imagine.
Oh shit. Okay.
Bro, what's your
Sweet,
papa been up to?
Death
I
apparently.
got so much information, and I didn't have to lose all of my gold tonight.
I mean, I didn't lose. Technically,
Yeah, you fucking
technically
got
the only
lucky.
person that got that lost here was.
I don't want to hear it.
True.
I got my buck.
I got
That's all I need.
At least he-
I got good old Kimeth and Shanove looking out for me.
He lost the gold that he put up to bet. That's all he lost. He's lucky that's
True.
all he lost because they could have taken a lot more from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like his dignity. Oh wait.
Although
what?
to be fair, I could have also just fucking thunder stepped out, which was the plan originally. I thought, yeah, I don't want to kill everyone.
That would have ended very poorly. Yeah.
I don't think we'd have been able to stay in the inn after that somehow.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
probably not.
I
Probably
don't think
not.
we would have been able to stay
Well,
in the town
The-
after.
It was originally the plan because I thought you could go up to. I read it totally wrong. I thought you could go up to 300 feet away and it did the damage where you went,
Nope.
not
It
90
blows up the
feet from
area
where
you
you can
leave.
see and 10 feet around where you are. So yeah,
Mhm.
as soon as I read it again, I was like, well, fuck, I don't have a backup plan now. This was already after I'd been caught, by the way. So I was like, I'm just gonna let him beat me to shit.
And really quick, Attica, just to make sure that my notes are in line with what you said. So, Edric told me that the place where he sealed off the Fallen was somewhere on floor 4, 5 kilometers northeast. The exact number of the wall is in the archives. Information is restricted, and in order to get access to that, we could take a job that was related to something in that area.
To dealing with restricted access tunnels.
Okay. And that as in like I would be able to access the archive that specifically had that number in it, or just
You'd be able to access the archive at all. Like all the information's just in that one archive, and they're not gonna like limit you to what floor you're allowed to research on based on where your job
Okay.
is.
Well, I hope the Adventurers Guild is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Fingers crossed.
Fucking
Because like
Connor, dude.
I mean
what a
we're gonna
bitch.
go like talk to Kevin, but we got a lot of information out of good old Edger.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he buys himself something nice.
Also,
Just on what he said, I've got a page and a half.
Oh, wow.
I've quickly
Jesus
noted
Christ.
down.
I have half a page, but
Those are decent information dump.
I just want to know as well for future reference, with blindness, deafness,
Yes.
does it always have that effect on their eyes? Because it didn't say that anywhere in the description, and it says it's voice only. So I
realized that later. Yeah, just every time I've seen it in games, people have described it as such.
Okay.
So I guess I kind of took that for the reality of it.
Yeah. It's cool now. Like I probably wouldn't have done it if I'd known, but obviously.
Yeah, but I've described it too before when you used it on the giant, that it made like a cloud of black over its eyes. So
yeah,
that is.
Just think of it at the cost of some HP that you'd be getting back. You got some good information in your book.
Me?
True.
Yeah.
I fucking didn't. I didn't get shit. I got
What do
beat
you
up and kicked
mean?
out.
You now know that your father was a follower of Oracle.
I'd have known that anyway.
He would have.
I didn't get shit from that. I'd have known that since the cave.
Oh,
I'm
you know
pretty
what?
sure.
You can't win them all.
You know what? It's good.
No,
for,
you can't.
It's good for character development, because the whole point of this whole thing with Orgel is, I mean, it's going to be a cool thing for Xylia in general, because the only reason that he really wanted to do it was to learn about his past, but maybe now he wants to do it for power. Who knows? We'll see.
I think Remy, I'm very happy. Remy tried to be his best version of Nori today and butter up.
Yeah,
you did
you
an
did
amazing
it.
Yo, yeah,
You
it was
did it
great.
in such a good way
Super
too.
good.
Nori's over here like, here's all my money. I'm gonna jokingly try and cheat this guy. Ha 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 ha. And then Remy's like, I'm gonna take a page out of Nori's book.
I imagine though, like on the inside, like Remy's like freaking out, like he's gonna leave the bar and he's gonna be like, ah!
I also need to know, Dea, did you do it on purpose where the two mages went to the brawliest place on earth and the two brawliest people went to the mages?
You guys chose that yourselves.
Was that just, was that random?
No,
Yeah, that was
I
random.
said. I was gonna say. I said.
That was Keothi's idea. That
I said that if we went into the Thieves Guild, people would be like, "Oh my god, that's a like really blue person and a really tall person," and everyone's gonna know where we've gone.
I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, it would have
Nori is
been
also
pretty
very
obvious.
blue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but she can at least throw like a hood up and be mostly concealed.
Yeah.
Your
I was too
clothes
busy
are
throwing
what
up
I'd say.
my thieves can't gang signs.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Look, either way, it worked
It
out.
works. It works.
We've got some really good basic information. We know where to
To
go.
be fair, both places
was
are
good.
kind of brawly because the coal mine's pretty rough and tumble too. Like
True.
there's a few altercations currently where they're like just somebody stepping on someone's foot away from going into an all-out brawl.
Yeah, that's where I thought we'd be better there though, because they're more likely to just want to like punch something and get out, and that's
Yeah.
like totally my style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Plus, they're probably too drunk to remember the blue person and the tall lady. Like,
Remy also probably feels like really bad. Like he didn't lie too much, but he also lied a lot.
Yeah.
he did-
Lied through
he
his
did
teeth.
like-
Nori's rubbing off on you.
He definitely pulled a
Her
lot of
influence.
his
lot of Nori.
experiences with Nori. He pulled from that.
I'm a storyteller.
Ah.
Well, what's also helpful is he understands he looks like a bard and
Mhm.
definitely looks like a foreigner because he is. So. And he has
Pretty
lots of
much.
stories. He's an adventurer.
Huh.
God.
Yeah, no, it was a good one. I enjoyed that one.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was fun.
Good times.
Okay.
I was having
all right,
so much
so
fun
I guess
just listening to Luca's like game, like game.
Ah.
It was just funny. with
Listening
the-
to me lose
even-
over and over.
Even with the great rolls, just the constant losses.
Kimmeth saved your ass.
Oh yeah, Kimmeth, the fucking.
Oh.
I'm lucky that he was fucking
Came
keeping an
through.
eye on shit. Thanks, Kimmeth.
Yeah, wasn't keeping an eye on me,
My
little
OG.
bitch.
Kenneth's passive perception wouldn't let you down.
Oh,
Kimmeth
okay.
knew.
I'm gonna stop the recording for now, but it was
Alright.
very enjoyable, and we are taking next week off, right?
next week and the week after, because I'm going to be arriving back home next week when we normally have game time. So I'm not going to be.
2 weeks.
Oh,
The week
God.
after.
Yeah.
An extended break.
Unfortunately.
2 weeks
Yeah.
off. Okay.
We'll have to
We can
suffer
think of
through.
all the things that we're gonna ask Kevin.
Yeah, all the things you're gonna ask Kevin.
Think of all the drunken dwarf brawlers that I'm gonna murder.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Okay. I'm kidding.
Sacrifices
I'm
to
kidding.
Orgel?
I saw the horror there.
Corb, don't look so scared. It's fine. It's a joke. It's a joke. All right, but
What is it?
we'll find out in 3 weeks' time. Yeah, we'll see you in 3 weeks.
All
right.
Peace.
Bye, guys.